agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up. I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving. MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch out touchdown, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen.
Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. I am Jason. Excuse me.
You wish you were me.
Hey man,
y'all see that? He wish you were me.
I am Greg, the chosen one. This is Timothy Bradley Jr., aka Jason, and we are back in the building. I'm sorry, y'all, man. We come online, and I was just teasing Jason about his lack of IT skills. So we back in the building right now. We got 28 people in the building, so let's give salutes to the chat. Molly Mall, Jay Wash. I think this might be my first time seeing your name, man, but salute. Brian S., one of our members. Okay. Master Khalik. Jay, what's going on with you, Jay? Devian Trotty, what's going on with you? No evidence. Salute. All right, Jay, let's go ahead and give the people that we rock with their propers, and then we'll go from there. Rock Dog Interactive. If you guys need anything in regards to web design, logo design, you name it, Rock Dog Interactive can do that for you. And then Black Father Figures, that is the League of Legacy, a friend of the show, and he's doing wonderful work in the realm of Black fathers. He's currently working on a book. He did have a cruise toward the end of the year, but that has been unfortunately canceled. Hopefully that will be rescheduled for 2024. But League of Legacy is doing wonderful things for Black fathers. Make sure you guys go check that out, and hopefully he'll be online to drop a link in the comment section. So Jay, now that we've done all of that, you know how we do it on this show, man. We go ahead and jump into it. Jason is still looking like he's trying to work on that computer, knowing damn well he has absolutely no idea what he's doing. Jason, pay attention. Let's get into the show. Where do you want to start off, my brother?
I'm gonna try real nice not to cuss your butt out today, man. I'm gonna try hard. But you making it hard for me. You making it hard not to cuss you out. But yeah, let's go ahead and get what
gotta cuss my butt out. All righty. All right, man, go ahead.
I'm trying to be like Carlton right now, so you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's go ahead and get about that fight last night with Boots.
Yeah,
and
man.
Villa.
Yeah.
It's on that. See if he showed the goods what everyone thought, or was it basically just a fighter that was tailor made for him, like he said.
So I want to start off with the superlatives, right? So from a superlative standpoint, you think about Boots and the way he looked last night. Looked great on the inside. I like the way he started off the fight with fighting from range. The stick, all he was doing was the stick the first couple of rounds. Really bloodied up Villa just with the stick, going upstairs, downstairs, changing levels with it. I really like what I saw from that standpoint. I like what I saw from Vergil Ennis in terms of the guidance that he was giving him in between rounds. I remember sending you a text message, Jay, basically saying that Boots needs to stop getting. It looks like he's relaxed in the ring in front of Villa. You don't want to be relaxed and stand right in front of a guy that can punch. He needs to start making sure that he's throwing his shots and getting up out of there. And sure enough, in between rounds, Vergil Ennis literally said the exact same thing that I said, which means I must be brilliant and could be a boxing trainer. But as far as the way that he made the transition though inside and started fighting from the inside, I thought that he looked really good from the inside as well. Ducking a lot of the shots, showed really good defense, looked very sharp in this fight. I salute to him, man, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your last fight, and he looked excellent in his last fight. So I wanted to start with the superlatives, and this is where people then start to say that we're hating. You're a hater, because for me personally, I don't like to be a prisoner of the moment, Jay. I don't like to be a prisoner of the moment. I understand that the performance was really good last night. I really enjoyed the performance from Boots. It was actually a very entertaining fight, considering it was kind of one-sided. Villa is a very tough individual. He made for a scrappy fight, but let's be honest here. Villa was just a stronger version of what we've seen him in the ring with before. Like, we predicted this was going to happen. Like, when Boots said that Villa was tailor-made for him, we did a video agreeing with Boots. He's tailor-made for you. It's the exact same opponent that's been in front of Boots Ennis from the giddy up, and that's why he looked like the old Boots, because it was the same type of opponent. I wanted to see him in there with an opponent that's a little bit slicker, opponent that gives a little bit more movement, to see if he's improved on some of the deficiencies we saw in the last fight. Yeah, but we didn't see that. Now you got to give him credit for what it is. He did what he was supposed to do, and he went in there and he annihilated Villa, and it was entertaining as hell to see. But I gotta put it in the proper context. It's still a guy that's very similar to what we've seen in the past. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong for that. I will see what the chat might cook me for it, but we'll see. Jay, what's your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a phenomenal performance by Boots. I mean, like you said, like even Boots said, this dude was tailor-made. But the difference is, for me, this guy has some power. And Boots had to be defensively more responsible. He did take a couple of shots. He admitted to it. He took a few shots, but I mean, he took those shots and kept moving like it wasn't nothing. Now, to be fair, Villa was getting schooled by Ellis for the most of that fight until Ellis ran out of gas. But Boots handled his business, man. I mean, I can't say nothing bad about him. The only thing I wanted from Boots, I wanted Boots to fight someone that actually can move. That seemed like that was the only problem, if you want to say, was that on last week, like his last fight against Karan. That was his issue about cutting off the ring. He even admitted to maybe he didn't go to the right game plan. He was just so amped to try to get a knockout. That was the issue. And he kept talking about that. He's like, I just kept going to try to, get a knockout versus letting the knockout just come. Kind of like this fight last night. He handled business last night. I mean, his inside game was good. He even said that he didn't follow directions. He just stayed in the pocket a lot longer than what he should have. So he got caught a few times with stuff he shouldn't have got caught with if he had just boxed, because he could have outboxed him easily. So Boots handling his business. I'm really intrigued to see him fight, Keith Thurman, Ugas, Stanionis. That's what I want to see next for him, And he says he hasn't really tapped into his toolbox on what he can actually do. So I mean, Boots definitely. This is a much better showing than the last one. But to be fair, this dude stood right in front of him for the whole fight, basically. His head was on the line. He was there to be hit. He didn't make Boots think too much in this fight here. And Boots just handled the business like you're supposed to. When you fight someone that's not on your level, you handle them like this. And that's what Boots did. So Boots took care of business like he was supposed to.
So I want to address two things that have been said in the chat. Chicken Talk said, what opponent would that be? There ain't one. I think he's talking about me. And I would say the closest version of that would be someone like Keith Thurman. And that's also answering your statement, Molly Mall. Thurman can actually move. Now, this stage of I would grant you this version of Thurman is not going to be as elusive and display as much movement as a Thurman from 3 or 4 years ago. But I believe that he can demonstrate some level of movement to give Boots more of a challenge, at least from that aspect. So that would be the name that I would throw out there in terms of who could give him a look like that. Speedy Rashidi Ellis could also give him that kind of look. Styles makes fights, and I get that he lost to Villa, but his style has been proven to be somewhat of a challenge to Jaron Ennis. So I would just like to see, not to say that Ennis is going to lose to any of those guys, but I want to see what improvements he's made from the last fight. And I think that's okay to ask that question. Has he made additional improvements since his last fight?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, Speedy, because that was the whole deal. That's what they had wanted. They wanted to be Speedy after, for this fight here, but Speedy took that L from Villa. Speedy would give him that same movement that Karan did. He's a little bit slicker than Karan. He just can't. He ain't got no power. So I don't know how much that would, if that would do to Boots, because Boots can walk through that and get Speedy up out of there. Especially Speedy will gas out. But it'd be interesting to see how Boots handles the movement of
that's
of
what I'm looking for, the evolution of Jaron Ennis. And so again, not to say that any of those fighters, but that specific aspect of his game, I'm wondering if it has improved. That's it. So I'm not saying that Speedy Rashidi Ellis would win. I'm not saying that he has punching power to beat Jaron Ennis. All I'm saying is, how does Jaron now deal with the foot movement, knowing that an opponent could bring that to him, and it has shown that he may have a level of deficiency in that area. I just want to see how he responds. That's it.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that, because some people would be like, you was trying to say Ellis might beat him or be a great fight. But yeah, I don't think that would be a fight. But it'll be interesting to see how long it takes for Boots to figure it out and react and adjust to that speed of Ellis and the footwork, like you said, the boxing style. So
yeah, I just saw another message from Chicken Talk. I think my comment that I just made, Chicken Lefty, addresses what you're saying. I'm not talking about any of these guys beating him. I want to see the evolution. I want to see if that aspect of his game has improved since his last outing. That's what I want to see. And to see if the level of determination in Jaron Ennis relative to, if he has a deficiency, how quickly can he go back to the lab and change that? That's what I'm trying to understand today, not whether or not there's an opponent that has that style that will actually beat him. Does that make sense, Jay?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Chat?
It's all about how he's going to adjust to that style. I'm not going to get on the bandwagon saying Boots is just going to run through or take out Spence or Bud at this juncture just yet, because it's still, it's still levels to this, but Boots handled his business. He showed he had a chin because he took some flush shots from Villa, and Villa, by all we know, can crack. And he took those shots with ease. Now I don't think he'll take shots like that from Bud or Spence, because I think he'll be more responsible than that. But he also took some of those shots a little bit later in the fight. So that power Villa had early in the fight was definitely diminished by those body shots. I love the fact that Boots was going to the body by stabbing him to the body like he was. I really enjoyed that, seeing that type of work that he did. Overall, Boots handled his business. He did what he was supposed to do.
He did what he was supposed to do. He looked good to me. I'm excited for it because I want to see him do well. Particularly, I like his dad. I like every time I see his dad in an interview, I always go and check out the interview because I want to hear what his dad has to say in regards to just the sport overall and some of his takes on skill level and opponents and stuff like that I think is fairly interesting. So I like that family. I want to see them do well, but at the same time, it's okay. It's okay to question certain aspects of things, and no one should be, upset on that.
Chicken Talk is sold on Boots. He sold on him.
Yeah, he took a good shot, man. I was thinking about the same thing, Lefty.
The uppercut, and he took the hook, the right hook.
He took a few good shots. I'm still not willing to say he got an iron cast chin or anything like that, because Villa didn't catch him with anything like directly on the chin, but he can definitely take a shot, bro. Like he took a couple of them. I was like, man, he don't really look like he phased all that much.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, I don't even know I saw sweat come off his head after he took some of those shots, man. Which I was worried because I saw the way he was sitting in the pocket, and it's almost like he invited the shot to come in, and he saw it coming. So he was able to kind of roll with it as well a little bit, except for the uppercut. Only one I saw him he didn't really go with was the uppercut. That one kind of caught him off guard. He even talked about it in the post-fight interview. It's like, yeah, that was a good shot. The uppercut, I think it was a left uppercut that caught him. But other than that, Boots put on a spectacular show last night. I give him a number of props.
That must have been what had his nose puffy. One thing I want to ask you, Jay, and I haven't gotten the opportunity to ask you this, but I did want to ask you live on air to get your genuine response to this so that you can choke in front of everybody. My question to you is, because I heard the commentator mention this on air, said he had the most diverse offense he's seen in 40 years. The most diverse offense you've seen in 40 years. You think his offense is more diverse than Roy Jones? because I think Roy Jones is the most gifted athlete from an offensive standpoint to probably ever fight, just because of the level of athleticism that he has. You think his offense is more diverse than someone like Roy Jones? Or maybe let me throw Antonio Tarver out there since he compares himself favorably to Roy Jones and the rest of those guys of that generation.
It's funny you mentioned that and say Roy Jones, because when I was watching the fight, that's who he was. That's what it was reminding me of. The way he was doing some of the stuff he was doing in that fight last night. I don't think he's as diverse as Roy. I mean, it's early right now. You know, against a dude that's pretty much there to be hit, it's easy to do some of those things. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to do like some of the shoe shining punches and stuff like that. It's easy to do that. Not saying he can't do it against others, but this right here was perfect. I wouldn't say his offense is as good as Roy's was back then. Prime Roy, hell no.
Prime Roy did that against James Toney.
Exactly.
Prime Roy did that against Bernard Hopkins. Now, don't get me wrong. He wasn't the level of Bernard Hopkins that we saw when he was on that middleweight run, but still, he did it against Bernard Hopkins. Like, I think it's hard for me to give that level of superlatives to a fighter that was had a fighter in front of him that was tailor-made. I mean, it was almost similar to like Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. I don't know. Anyway, Jay, anything else you want to cover in regards to this topic, or do you want to move on to the next?
No, I mean, the only thing I would say here is like, who do you believe might be next for Boots? I mean, a legitimate fighter for Boots next. You know, not
we
that
did a poll.
Can beat him, but who's next? You know,
we did a poll, and a lot of people wanted to see him in there with Keith Thurman. I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure why they want to see him in there with Keith Thurman. I want to see him in there with Keith Thurman because I think Keith will provide a challenge in the area that we saw a deficiency. And like I said earlier, I want to see how he improves on it.
The movement,
who I would like to see him in the ring with, other than that, I would love to see him in there with Stanionis. Like, I want to see some of the younger guys get in there and fight each other. And I think, so my thing is this: Stanionis, although he is not as talented as someone like Ennis, he's certainly going to be a lot better than Villa. I think he would get better. I think he would get challenged in a way that he didn't get challenged with Villa, even though Stanionis might present some of the same kind of similar looks in regards to not being a mover. So I would love to see him in there with Stanionis.
Yeah, I think Stanionis is much more polished and talent than Villa. He's gonna roll with punches. He's gonna give punches back as well. You know, he's not just gonna be a stationary target like Villa was. But it'll be interesting to see the next fight for him. I know he can't. He said he wants to get another fight before the end of the year, and he said he wants to have a name. You know, so yeah. Chicken Talk said Cody Crowley for a vacant, then Stanionis to unify. That'd be interesting. You know, because I think Cody is next on that lineup for the IBF, isn't he? He's next in line.
I'm not sure. I have to look at the rankings.
Yeah, but
man, you stat guy.
That's about it on that one.
Yeah, man. So where you want to move from here?
So since we just mentioned Stanionis, man, what's going on with what's next for Stanionis? You know, Ortiz. This is what third time it got canceled. So I mean, Stanionis has been waiting, paying all that money for the trainers and everything, going all these camps. What's next for him, and how soon?
I don't know. I thought I heard something about that, but I can't really remember. I know for a fact though that fight will not be rescheduled.
I heard about that.
So they're moving on from that fight. I don't know what's next for Stanionis. I would ask Chicken in the chat that, man, because I know they had the Lefty Eject show yesterday live at 11 Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern, and they have it every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They might have covered that. Jake is pretty plugged in. But I don't. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't know of anything next per se for him. Now I am disappointed tremendously for Ortiz. I mean, I just feel like Ortiz is. Boy, I don't know. Because I don't know what he fainted from. I don't know if it was just from him trying to cut weight. If that's the fact that he needs to move up to 154 pounds, I mean, it's over at 147. I'm hoping that it doesn't have anything to do with Rabdo, however you pronounce it. I'm hoping that it doesn't have anything to do with that, and that's something he can overcome. But I I don't know, man. It was just very disappointing that this is the third time that fight got canceled, because I think it would have been something that was really good and entertaining.
Yeah, that would have been a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight if that had happened. One thing I didn't like how like Bernard just kind of dismissed it, just made it seem like he just couldn't make the weight, and that was simply it. I'm like, this dude got other factors, you know what I'm saying? Bernard was just like, yeah, he just needs to move up pretty much, you know. At least Oscar was like, yeah, his health is the main, first and foremost, most important thing. So at least Oscar showed some type of care about the fighter, you know, because, you know, let's say if something happens to the point where Virgil can't fight anymore, what's next for Golden Boy? Are they gonna realize is Floyd Schofield gonna be now the one that's carrying the flag for the Golden Boy banner by himself? Because they're really depleted. I mean, Golden Boy really ain't got much.
Mm-hmm.
Not
I
much
agree.
at all. Floyd Schofield, Zerto is moving up to cruiserweight. No one's in cruiserweight except for Badu Jack's at cruiserweight. So I mean, Golden Boy's gonna be hurting. They're gonna be hurting.
Yeah, I think so. They've really fumbled a lot of the fighters that they have in their stable, and it seems like to me that, you know, this dude has been fumbling for a while, man. I mean, think about it. That's part of the reason why he's so upset with Al Haymon, is because he fumbled what he had in regards to all the fighters that were currently on Golden Boy. I mean, they weren't on Golden Boy, and that was because Oscar wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, and so, you know, these guys, Al Haymon, were just using him as the lead promoter. And of course, Rich Schaefer knew what was going on, but he didn't. So I guess in his mind, he got played. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But at the end of the day, he's been poor ever since then, bro. Like, it's just, to me, he's not where he needs to be in regards to like just making sure that he's taking care of the fighters that he currently has in place. So I don't know, man. I don't know why you would sign with Golden Boy. I can't figure it out. There's no reason to, in my eyes.
Not at this point, hell no. I mean, you could sign with Golden Boy if you just want to be the lead dog there, because you ain't got no competition. I mean, there's no one else there. I mean, you see what's going on with him and Ryan. Ryan's, you know, it seems like, according to some reports, that Ryan's trying to get out of that contract. You know, although he's talking about he has 2 fights in mind for Ryan. You know,
what are those fights?
I don't even know. Probably Regis. I think Ryan said he wanted a Regis smoke, and possibly maybe, you know, Rolly been calling out Ryan, but no one cares about Rolly anyway, because he's getting his ass beat by that old man. Grandpa was putting it on him, and they stopped that fight.
Yeah, I see Chicken in the comment section saying that he believes Stanionis will fight Maestri next. I am not exactly sure who that is, to be honest with you. Is that Gabriel?
Yeah, I've seen the name in the rankings, but I can't remember really watching that guy.
Yeah.
So I'll probably try to look a few fights of him tonight.
I like Stanionis versus Crowley as well. That'll be a good fight if it were to happen.
That'd be a good fight too, yeah. I agree with that.
Chicken Talk made a great comment in there. Oscar got paid for all those fighters he took from him. They all had buyouts.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to work with Golden Boy anymore. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I guess he feels played by that. Oh well.
Yeah.
All well that ends well.
That's his own fault.
It absolutely is his fault. It absolutely is his fault.
Speaking of last night's fights, and segue, because one of the fighters on there is potentially a fighter for Shakur. But what's up with this Shakur Devin saga, man? This little beef they got going on, man. That's back. Yeah, but not really even a beef.
Before we go there, we got 143 people in the building, 44 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure you engage. And also, if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. Jason and I are always dropping content on a regular basis, whether it's video clips, documentaries, fight breakdowns, you name it, we do it. And also, we are affiliated with a number of other content creators. Manager Marty, Lefty and Jake of the Lefty and Jake Show, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. Who else? Marlo, the Mike Check Podcast, T Ward, he's right there in the building. So go ahead and drop your link, the Boxing Source, all those guys we rock with, man. So make sure you go and check out their content as well. All right, Jay. So Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. Man, that's interesting. So, and I'm going to combine, I guess, a couple of topics here because we know that Eddie Hearns is saying that they are near completion in terms of a deal for Regis Prograis to face Devin Haney. But also, it's out there that Devin Haney offers Shakur Stevenson 25%. So maybe Devin is just trying to figure out what's the best avenue for him to go now. But Shakur, man, has been very interesting here lately. He's been doing a lot of talking on social media. He said he's not going to take the 25%. He went back and forth with Devin on social media. He reached out to Lomachenko talking about, hey, you did a great job, champ. Why don't you and I make a fight? It's just a lot of talking that he's doing. And my thing is, I'm not 100%. How do I say this? Because I don't want to sound like I'm saying Shakur is ducking smoke or anything like that, because I don't think that's the case. But how interested are you really in actually making a fight when you were made an offer that you weren't willing to take? And then you just kind of keep going to social media to talk about fights, dude. Like, if you really want to fight Lomachenko, get on the phone with Bob Arum and make sure that you try to negotiate something with that team, right? Like, why are you doing all this social media stuff, man? It sounds like to me, man, it's just my personal opinion, he's been in the school of Bob Arum promotional school, or maybe maybe he went to the Terence Crawford school of clout chasing and making sure that you tie your name to a specific fighter in order to boost your profile. I don't know if he's actually following that, but it kind of feels like it because everything is done through the lens of social media. And I know that's part of this generation, but how serious can you really be if that's the way that you're taking it in order to make the fight? You get what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah. No, I've always said that fights, big business don't get done out in the public. The real business don't happen. I mean,
right.
You saw along when Spence and Bud were doing all that stuff was in the public, nothing was getting done. It took them to do stuff behind closed doors for them to have their own little conversation and then get stuff going that way. So, I mean, Shakur is the kid is very talented. How talented, as far as against better competition, we don't know because he hasn't fought anyone just yet. You know, someone that I think he should fight right now instead of getting on Loma and saying, Loma, oh, man, you really the champ and all the crap there. Man, stop it. Just say, we're going to fight to get the contract. Or just sign a contract with Devin. Not saying he should settle for anything, but he don't control nothing. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a belt at 135. He only has one fight at 135. So what can he control? How can you dictate terms on anything? You can't right now. You know, if Loma's sitting here trying to hold out for a Devin fight, that ain't gonna happen for Loma. Devin ain't fighting Loma again. He don't got no reason to, really. Honestly, he won the fight. Regardless, it was a close fight. Regardless, people say he got a gift decision or not. He still got the win. He ain't got nothing to prove.
Yeah,
not for anything else.
I'm looking at a couple of comments in the chat that I want to address. So Chicken Talk said, man, Eddie Hearns always talking about fights he never made. Ignore him. Who gonna buy Regis Devin? Where is it gonna be held? The Middle East. That's a fair statement right there. I don't disagree with. Tunnel Vision, Devin does the social media all the time. He has done so for years. I don't disagree with that, but I'm just talking about Shakur Stevenson right now. But I don't disagree. They both done that. Jason Wibbs, did Ryan get the Tank fight through social media? No, he didn't. He went to Oscar De La Hoya, and they made the fight through communicating with the PBC, Steven Espinoza, in Showtime. That's how the fight was made.
Also,
Shakur mad at the 25%.
De Los Santos has been calling out Shakur for the longest.
Yeah,
and he looked good. Like he looked good last night in his fight. I think that'd be a real good fight for him. I would love to see that fight. You know, so I mean, Shakur is sitting there just trying to just. There's options for
him to fight. There's options for him to fight. He just got to make sure that he makes the fight. He's not going to get Devin next. Devin is not going to fight him unless he gets a certain amount of money. I always thought Devin was going to move up to 140. That's the reason why I actually kind of believed Eddie Hearns. I don't know. I believed, whatever you want to say. I think he's going to move up to 140 pounds. Is my opinion. The only fight to me that actually makes sense for him at 135 pounds is Gervonta Davis. And I think regardless whether he believes he's going to win, which I think he believes he's going to win, or if you think it's a possibility he could lose, the paycheck is going to be so worth it. He's going to absolutely make sure that fight happens because you got the biggest name at 135 pounds going against the undisputed champion at 135 that has his own following to some extent, right? It's not going to be a Ryan fight, but it'll still be a fairly big fight with Tank being involved. I think that would be an excellent fight for both of them.
Yeah, and I mean, a good fight card right now with the youngins I would say Shakur versus De Los Santos and Keyshawn versus Floyd Schofield. Get the youngins
Tell me
under, let
more.
them go at it. Let them go at it, because that way they're jockeying for position, and they don't have none of them have the real experience at 135. You know, they haven't fought in like the Devins. Yeah, at least Devins fought some people there. You know, they haven't fought Tank. You know, Loma's not going to fight none of them, so they may as well get it on there, get that out the way, get a couple names, young names on their list, and then they'll be able to go to the next. Because Devin, like I agree with you, Devin's going to go up to 140. And Devin's always said in the past that he would fight Shakur at 140. That's when he see them meeting up, 140, 147, you know, versus 135, because there's no money in that fight. It's a great matchup as far as the skill set, but there's no money in that fight. Not right now. So it's not going to happen.
I like what Chicken just said. Bob ain't making a De Los Santos fight unless he gets options on his next 3 fights, and Sampson ain't giving that up because if he beats Shakur, he's setting him up for Tank. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, man.
You heard and Bernard out there trying to feed Jojo Diaz to Floyd Schofield.
Mm-hmm.
He came in there and says like y'all should fight each other. And JoJo didn't even make weight last night. So we'll see how that works out. But they're going to have to fight someone, too. I really think Devin's trying to hold out for this Tank fight. And I'm not mad at him for doing that. You know, if he's holding out for Tank, that's not a duck against Shakur, who hasn't done anything at 135. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if he gets that fight, that would be great.
Yeah. Anything else, man, you want to share in regards to this topic, bro, before we move on to the next?
Nah, that's about it, sir.
All right.
So
what's next for us?
Changing gears. Let's go on about the interview that happened with Virgil Hunter, Bretman, Kell Brook, and Porter, and they're talking about Spence and Bud. So Porter believes Spence has more in his arsenal, but he hasn't had to pull it out yet. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we've heard Spence say that in the past, that he feels that there's a lot that he can do that he hasn't had to do. You know, and this was in regards to people saying that Errol Spence is basic. Terence Crawford brings so much more to the ring. He's the most fundamentally sound, which he agreed with. Shawn Porter agreed with. I think Shawn Porter is spot on. He made some other interesting comments that I'm pretty sure you'll touch on. But the one thing that I thought was interesting that he said was that Terence has shown more because Terence has been in the ring with people that have forced him to bring out more. So to go into his proverbial tool belt and pull out those tools. I thought that was interesting because we know, at least in my opinion, he has not been in the ring with the same level of competition, yet he's already been forced to pull those tools out of his tool belt. So that's an interesting dichotomy when you compare it to Errol Spence, who's been in the ring with the better competition and still hasn't had to bring out all of the quote-unquote tools out of the toolbox. So I just wanted to throw that out there very quickly. But go ahead, Jay. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I can agree with the way that, because, I mean, well, as far as Spence goes, I mean, Spence going to be fundamentally sound. He's going to continue to do what he needs to do when he comes out there. I don't think he's pulled out everything neither, as far as what Porter's saying, because he's fought different fighters and he's pulled out certain things. So I think he has more to pull out to fight different fighters if he needs to. Add some different types. You know, people thought he couldn't box. He outboxed Mikey. People didn't think he would actually, you know, be in the pocket a lot. And he was in the pocket the whole time against Porter and fought Porter at his own fight and actually beat Porter at his own fight. So I think Spence definitely has more, because people just kind of put Spence in one box. Like all he does is going to keep the high guard, jab, go to the body. It's almost like that's what people think. That's all that Spence can do, and he has a lot more than that, I feel like.
Yeah, I think he has more than that as well. We've kind of broken down his style in the past. I think his footwork is underrated. His defense is damn sure underrated, because Errol, for an offensive fighter, doesn't get hit a lot at all. So defensively responsible, big welterweight, and just has a style, man, a punishing style, specifically when he gets on the inside. Really, the only thing that you can say that's basic about Errol Spence's game is that he just uses a jab to set up everything. That's really basic. What to me, that's what they're calling basic, but really is old school fundamental boxing where you don't start off throwing uppercuts from outside because you can get your ass clipped by doing that, like Bruce Ennis did last night. He threw a couple of uppercuts from distance that I was like, man, if he was in there with a better fighter, man, they could actually capitalize on that. But I think Spence, just because the style is fundamental and it's I'm starting off everything with the jab like you should and supposed to, he gets labeled basic and not able to do everything that you would expect of a fighter. But Porter said he can move, he can fight moving forward, he can fight moving backwards, he can counterpunch. Both of them can. And I think there's a number of other skills that Spence brings to the ring as well. So I don't know, man. It's just interesting that the guy's been labeled that.
Yeah, and he's been labeled by people that just, if he's so, it's like, it's always funny to me, if he's so basic in that sense, why you can't beat him? It's so simple.
Yeah,
if it's so simple, why you can't capitalize off of that? That's funny to me.
And the guy's actually really, really like high level stuff when you start talking about his inside game and how he works the inside and how he positions his body in a way where it's hard to actually land a shot against him. I mean, he's really high level on the inside, but I don't know. People just dismiss that because it's not flashy uppercuts and fast, really fancy kind of speed or eye-catching, eye-popping speed. So, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then along the same line, Kell Brook with the excuses on his losses. How you going to say, like, I'm not trying to dim this light, or pretty much make an excuse, but then he likes those excuses. I'm just like, come on, man. They were the better fighters.
Yeah. His response was strange to me. So he talked about coming down after the Golovkin fight to fight Errol, and he had been killing himself to make the welterweight limit and using that as the excuse for why he could have lost to Errol Spence or what he wished he had done differently in the Errol Spence fight, but then fails to mention the fact that he was still moving down at a much older age, much older in boxing years, moving down from 154 to 147. So to me, you both moving down, but one is you're older. I mean, that's even worse. So I didn't quite get that. He just kind of talked about not having Dominique Ingle in his corner. And that's why you don't go and say in front of people that I had me best camp ever. I had me best camp. Man, shut up. No, you didn't. You know what I mean? You saying that the day of the fight and all that stuff, and then now you're talking about it didn't go well because your preparation was bad for Terence Crawford. So, Kell was one of my favorite fighters, man, while he was fighting. I consider him retired right now. And I still like Kell. And I think Kell, had he not moved up to 160 and fought
Lil G.
The Triple G, then what would he have done? Then you would have moved up to 54 and got knocked out by Mel. I mean, what would you?
Exactly.
Either you're gonna come back down and get knocked out by Spence, or you're gonna come to 154 and get knocked out. Your future was set, my brother. Either way it go, it was knockout. And I love Kell Brook. You know that. I love Kell Brook. But I just don't see him beating any one of those dudes. So it is what it is.
Not at all. And that's the thing. I'm like, regardless of if you were going up, because Spence was a Mando. You chose to go straight up to fight Lil G instead of knowing you had that Mando come in anyway. So he was your Mando, but he would have lost to Spence and Bud regardless. Would the outcome been slight? Not the outcome, but would the fight been a little bit different? Maybe, possibly, as far as the fight, the dynamics of the fight, but the outcome would still have been the same. He would have lost. I don't know
if he really loses to Bud, but who knows?
He didn't lose to Bud on a jab to the face that dropped him up.
How he got dropped by a jab?
Exactly.
I mean, the shot just looked like it barely landed. I don't even remember if it was a jab, but I do remember it looking like, man, did the shot even land?
It was a jab that Bud dropped him with. And he was actually, he was doing good in that fight early on because it went 4 rounds.
Yeah, it went 4 rounds. It was stopped in the 4th.
I think it would have gone longer or gone to the distance, but I still give Bud the win on that. So can't say I'm hating. Say I don't give Bud no credit.
What does this Planet 619 say, Greg? Just make sure you put away your camera phone around Kell since you love him so much. What does that mean?
He don't want you fanboying. You gonna be taking pictures with him so much, man.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was a story that he stole somebody's phone or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not thinking clearly today. Jason Williams, Greg, let Bud jab you. I bet you cry yourself to sleep. Man, I don't know if you know this, Jason Williams, but I have a chin made of granite, my brother. It's gonna be hard to drop me with a jab.
Oh, that's why. That's why I do the other Coke video from the film. That's why. I was wrong with my thoughts on that, but
that's not new.
Y'all ain't right.
I figured you was wrong. Shut
your ass up, Greg.
You normally are wrong. All right,
iron chin, lying ass. But
Jason, I do have an iron chin.
No, you don't.
How you know? Have you ever seen me get punched? Have you ever heard of me getting knocked out? Okay, then.
I'm not gonna put you out there. Back in the day, at in Tallahassee, them days, I'm not gonna put you out there like that, man. What I heard.
You ain't gonna put me out there like that because there's no story to tell. Ain't no story to tell. You ain't never heard about me getting my ass whooped in Tallahassee. I don't know what you talking about.
Homecoming.
I ain't getting into no fight at home, man. Only homecoming fight that ended up happening is when Todd was going over there messing with them Kappas, and the Kappas about to put them things on his cheeks. Pause. That is the correct use of pause, right? I think it is. By cheeks, I mean his cheeks, his actually cheeks. But yeah, Jay. So man, what other topics we got to cover, bro?
Oh, Jason said your life record is 0-0-0. Well, he got it.
I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. That's all that matters. I'm undefeated.
Whoa, pause, Mr. Vegas. Pause, Mr. Vegas.
I seen your chin get skeeted and beat it. Hey, what's wrong with Mr. Vegas, man? What is Mr. Vegas on? Come on, man. That sounds weird. You supposed to pause.
On that one.
What else we got, Jay?
Oh, so he said Greg should check my box record.
Damn right, undefeated. Undefeated. That's all that matters to me. Still there.
For that ride. Nah, so so Derrick James, he spills Bud needs more than athleticism to beat Spence. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's true, right? I mean, and I know Jason Williams is going to chime in on this because he believes since when has Terence Crawford been considered just athletic? I don't think he's ever been considered just athletic. I do believe that a lot of the things that he's able to do in the ring is predicated off of his athleticism, right? The counter punching is because he's quick. He throws a lot of looping shots. Looping shots take longer to get to the point of contact, but because he's so quick in how he does things, he's able to get away with it, similar to Roy Jones. So I think that team feels that, or at least Derrick James feels that Terence Crawford has used mostly his athleticism, or to a large degree his athleticism, to be successful in the ring. And he's just highlighting that at this level, all that switch hitting and stuff like that is not going to be what's going to win a fight, because at this level, people can deal with the switch hitting and all that stuff. It doesn't really matter. So that's how I view it. I think he has a point there. Not saying that, the only thing that Terence Crawford brings in the ring is the athleticism, and therefore he's going to lose. We've been saying for a long, long, long time, regardless of the people that ignore the statements that are being made, that we believe that it's a 50-50 fight. We just choose to believe and lean towards Spence. That's it. Jason Williams, that's called athleticism. Your timing goes as your timing will go as your athleticism goes as well.
Yeah, I mean, I believe, like you said, it's a 50-50 fight. Both fighters want to be to the best of their ability. They can't be snoozing or cheating. They can't duck anything as far as cut any corners or anything. The best man's going to win. Like you said, I feel Spence is going to be the one that wins just based on some of the things he does well, which is his fundamentals. I'm real big on fundamentals. As the athleticism fails you, if your fundamentals ain't tight, you're going to get exposed on that. That's going to catch you. You know, so I mean that's why I think Spence is a better pick in this. Still, both of them are great fighters. You know, Bud has excellent timing, but Bud also has been sitting in the pocket more. He hasn't been moving as much as he used to, as well. So, but it's still going to be a great fight.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Jay just made a comment and probably want to address it because I think that's a fairly good topic. The All Access episode yesterday, I got a chance to see it. What are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was good. I'm looking for more on the next one. It was funny. I kind of laughed at it when they're talking about how they're going. But was talking about how he was going to fillet the fish, and Spence talking about he don't eat hot sauce. And Bud was like, "How does he know I don't eat hot sauce?" So I found it funny for them doing that. But it was cool. It was cool seeing a little bit more of an insight. They both gave each other respect. They're seeing them from an inside standpoint as far as how close the cameras got to them or what they are. They're both good family men, and they both pointed out to one another. So it's cool.
I found it boring. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I thought it was cool to see some of the little tidbits that led to some of the stuff that we've already seen. And then hearing a little bit behind the scenes in terms of what they were laughing about on the stage, the comment that Spence made, and then we saw Terence Crawford kind of turn to him and laugh and all that other stuff. I thought that part was cool to see, but quite honestly, their personalities. Spence is just very laid back. Terence is Terence. I don't think their personalities draw you in to any great degree, and therefore the All Access is cool, but it's not like for a fight of this magnitude. In my opinion, it lacks a little bit in terms of being able to drum up interest. In my opinion, of people who may be general fans of sports and may be interested in purchasing this. I don't think it did a whole lot for that. And people probably be pissed off at that assessment, but I don't give a shit. That's how I see it. Oh, excuse my language.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I did note about the whole incident about Bud, pressing Derrick James, how that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they shed more light to that because people may seem like Derrick was wrong and everything. I'm just like, nah, I don't know why Bud was on like 10 on that, but he ain't fighting Derrick James. Derrick James ain't fighting him. He fighting Spence, so that's gonna happen in the ring. And to you, it may have been boring just because you didn't get to see a little bit more crazy shit or whatever. But neither one of those fighters are gonna give you that. They're not like Floyd. They're not gonna give you, oh, look at all my 10 cards, anything like that. They're just gonna give you more of what they're doing in training camp and just how they run do their lot. They do everyday things. So Bud and Spence, to me, they're more similar than different. As far as like the way they do stuff, they're nothing extravagant. In that sense, I guess you could try to say they're kind of boring.
Chicken Salt said, imagine a year Loma, Bud, and Canelo lose and GGD retire. Boy, that is a great year. No, I didn't see AJ in the All Access either. Not T-Ward. Chicken Talk. I didn't see him in the All Access at all. Greg wanted that
he's
ratchet.
That's on the Zone. It's like the making of Anthony Joshua, I think they call it. And they have another one, the making of a Canelo Alvarez. I haven't seen either one of those either.
I'm not sure. I'm just thinking Chicken Talk was wondering if he was just caught in any of the scenes because he might be in town training. That's all he's talking about. Yeah. Jason, boy, your interpretation is always so off. Greg grew up watching BET, so he need that ratchet. Man, whatever. I don't like ratchet. Nobody say anything about being ratchet. I'm saying that they don't drum up a lot of interest. Their personalities, to the point that was made by somebody in the chat, it's not dynamic. All right, Jay. Do we have anything else, or do we want to go ahead and open up the lines? I can't recall if there's anything else.
Now, the
and the
only
things
thing
that we
else
wanted
is,
to
I mean,
address.
it's kind of a short week since we did a live on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The only thing else we would have would be, about Shane Mosley changing his pick. Seemed like he's picking now to Spence versus being on Bud's side.
That's an interesting one because we know a lot of people have been very interested in the fact that some of the legends have picked Terence Crawford to be successful in this fight on July 29th. And I think Shane Mosley is the second one to change stance. Bernard Hopkins was adamant that Terence Crawford would win, changed that pick, and now he's back somewhere in the middle. It depends on whatever he said. I don't know. Shane Mosley changed his pick a few months ago. He was saying that he believed Terence Crawford's going to win. Now, some of his pick is predicated on the fact that he heard that they had sparred. I don't think that's true. But he also mentioned that Errol Spence is very patient. He said Spence may be too patient, too rangy, too big. And so now because of those factors, he's thinking that there's a possibility that Errol Spence is going to be victorious. And so now he's picking Spence. So bit interesting. It's all very interesting that I think a lot of these odds that people have in Vegas and all that stuff, they're going to get razor thin by the time we get to fight night. Because it just is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think they spar because neither camp has left out anything about them sparring or anything like that before. So I think Shane was his toothpiece was still hurt or something like that.
Yeah,
he was saying that. So I think he was completely off on that. I mean, if they keep it under wraps as sparring information should be left in sparring. That's not something that should be coming out like that. But I did want to make a comment about Tracy Jackson said every year Bomac is looking more like Bud's grandmother. He needs to improve his public appearance for his fighters. But at least they have a bag of Cheetos in this all access being shown just yet. But that's good.
Edward Torres, boy, he is a fan of yours. Greg loves PBC. Jason understands boxing. I love PBC, Jay. All right. All right, keep on with the facts. I'm not gonna say nothing to you.
Jason Williams said Burner Boxer had a bunch of camera time. Yeah, Burner was on there.
I saw him on there. Boy, he was doing an amazing job of cheerleading there. Man, that guy is one of the best. I mean, boy, that is the perfect impersonation of Flavor Flav if I've seen one in my lifetime, Jason. Very impressive. I cannot deny it. Yeah. What else do we got, Jay? Or should I go ahead and open up these phone lines?
Man, open them lines up. I know.
Every
already
former
know.
HBO fighter picked Bud. It's a fraternity. Spence isn't in that fraternity. Now that's a good way to summarize that and make that connection, Chicken Talk. I had not thought about that. I want to read this again. Every former HBO fighter picked Bud. It's a fraternity. Spence isn't in that fraternity. I had not thought about that, dude. Yeah. You are a lifelong hater, Greg. I don't hate on anybody, man. I love everybody. Let me pause here very quickly and say we got 162 people in the building, 92 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button. But make sure that you're engaging with the content. And also, if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. Jason and I are always dropping content on a daily basis. Well, not always daily, but for the most part, it average out to be daily, right, Jay? So make sure that you guys become a subscriber. And also, if you're a subscriber, make sure that you think about becoming a member. Membership helps us to continue to create this great content in regards to boxing breakdowns, documentaries, you name it. That stuff really helps, and all of your contributions helps as well. So we really appreciate those as well. All right, Jay. What should I do, man? Open up the phone line, or is there anything else you want to cover with Shane Mosley, Sugar Shane?
Nah, ain't nothing needed on him. Let's go ahead and open up phone lines. I'm just gonna mention what Taj says. As Bomac's belly gets bigger, his arms get shorter. God damn. Well, y'all are
why y'all keep riding on Bomac, man? I don't understand why y'all keep riding on Bomac.
And Mr. Vegas talking about he 53 and 5'3". Boy, y'all fighting that heavyweight. Boy, y'all rough, man.
Yeah, they rough.
Y'all
man.
rough.
These some rough folks here, man.
But yeah, I mean, this is a hell of a month for boxing. I mean, it was just fought yesterday, and here we go to calls. What we got?
FSU Walt is in the building. What's going on with you, fam?
What's going on, fellas? I had to be first out the gate, man.
Yeah, man. What's up?
What's that?
I have 2 points I want to make real quick, and that's the switch point, guys. I took my time and went back to look at Terence Crawford's fights, because I'm a Spence guy, but I really wanted to see, even more of what he does. And Terence Crawford does not switch, fellas. He fights southpaw. 85 to 90% of his fights. Every time he goes right hand, it's not good for him.
100%. I've said this for so long.
I'm not saying I'm talking about other people keep saying he's a great switcher. What you saw with switching was last night. That's switching.
Now listen to what I'm saying. I've been saying what you just said for a very long time, and Jason.
No, I know. I hear you, Brett.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But I hear all the people like even on Showtime's broadcast on when he was on ESPN, all of that. He's a great switch hand, and I'm like, I'm sitting there watching with people, and they're like, this dude's a southpaw.
He's a southpaw. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally agree with that. 100%.
And if we all admit it, nobody knows who's going to win this fight. This is as close as a fight as we've had since Hagler Hearns. We all have our favorites, but this fight we're going to know at the end of that night. But the point I wanted to make too, though, real quick though, the thing that discouraged me so much with fans is, look at this. Before Spence fights Crawford fights Ugas, Crawford's camp said, "Oh, this is going to be a tough one," right? You remember when they said that. And then as soon as he beats him, Ugas is a bum.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Boots last night. He beats a dude, all of a sudden the dude's a bum now. It's like, it's all the Tanks fighters, they were all bums. It's like, whoever these guys beat, they're bums. Fans do that all the time, and it's just not cool. It's like, I look at it, I'm guilty of it myself sometimes. But when I sit back and look at it and really think about it, it's like, it doesn't matter. Because whoever you go with, you're going to say that other dude who beat that dude, that younger man to fight, they were bums.
Mm-hmm.
When they really weren't.
Yeah, Villa wasn't a bum.
No,
I think
Ugas wasn't a bum. Now, Amir Khan was a bum. Like, and it's like, but I'm sure Errol had some bums on his thing too.
Yeah, they all have some bums.
Yeah, but it's just so, like, the hypocrisy, and it's like when you listen to people on social, on some of the channels, like me say, us three guys, we're all Spence guys. But Crawford people will be calling in after I get off the phone saying dudes that Spence fought were bums. And I'm like, man, how can you say anything like that when you look back at Crawford's resume? You should just be saying, let's wait till the fight happens. I know everybody's got their points, but some of this stuff, like Jerry Lewis, your boy, is going to call later and say some of the craziest stuff. He's going to see the way Terence ties his shoe. So just the way he ties his shoe, you can tell that, crazy stuff like that. It's just, I don't get it, man. But FSU all day, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
All day long. Appreciate you, Walt. Oh, man, boy, Walt, that's the guy right there that knows the school. He knows a real university when he sees one. I love when that guy calls in. We got the 206. 206 is in the building on the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have?
You got your boy Bend up in the live, you know what I mean? Live in the flesh with it. Was good, Jason and Greg.
What's going on, Bend up?
Yeah. I got a question for y'all today. So I don't know if you guys seen it a few weeks ago when Shawn Porter was doing that podcast, you know what I mean, that live view, and we just talking about Errol Spence. I asked him a question. I think if you guys go back, I was the second to last question or the third to last question. So it's kind of in the video before he cuts it off. I asked Shawn, Shawn, in that fight, if you needed one thing to beat Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, what did you need? And he sat back and he had to think about it. He said, going into the fight, he always knew he had to bring everything. He knew he had to bring everything to the fight to beat Errol. He knew that once he was in that fight, one man was going to have to go down for this to be a winner. He said he knew he had to bring everything for Crawford, but he didn't feel like he had to in the fight. He felt like whatever he was doing was working, and then it just bang. Up until what happened, it didn't work for him. Do you guys think Errol is going into that mindset in there with that same type of mindset, like, I know what I got to do to beat him, and then something's going to happen? Or do you think Errol's going to be cautious for everything that Terence is really going to bring, like he's supposed to be? Because with that being said, I would see Errol starting off a little slower, and I don't think he's going to start off as fast as everybody's going to get off to. Because if he's going to think and not go into it with everything going, you're not going to go into it. You know what I mean? You're not going to fully dive in.
Yeah, so I think people overrate how quick Errol Spence start. They like, man, Errol's on it, man. He's going immediately. It's not really true. Errol starts off fast, but he starts off fast because he's really using the jab. So it's not a lot of feinting. He's always pumping that jab. And Errol's gonna want to feel Terence Crawford out, man, before he really gets into gear. So I don't think it's going to be a balls to the wall type of fight, like immediately or anything like that. I think it's going to be more Errol's going to go in there with the jab, figure him out a little bit, see what he has from a power perspective, try to get on the inside a little bit, just kind of measure him out for a couple of rounds. Similarly, I think Terence Crawford's going to be trying to do the same thing, but Terence is a counter puncher. And then we'll get past like round 3 or 4, and then I think it's going to start to really pick up. That's the way I see it, Jay. I don't know how you see it.
No, I think it's going to go probably with Bud and Spence, probably around 8, 9. That's when you start seeing the effects of Spence pressure on Bud and body work on Bud started really getting to him. Now before that, because Bud is a traditionally slow starter, Bud can't do that. He can't start slow. Everyone says that, he can't start. So he starts slow, it's going to be real bad for him because he's not going to be able to catch up. Because by the time round 6, 7. That body work is already the accumulation of punches is going to really slow him down. It's going to mess up his timing on Spence as well. But if Bud can get out there with better timing or start off hot, it'll be a long ass fight for both fighters. That's when the will of each fighter will come into play here.
So do you think either one of them would take the approach of let's not take those rounds that everybody's accustomed to take? Do you think either one of them would step on that gas early to offset the other person?
I think they both gonna have to. I think Spence is automatically gonna come out like that. I think Bud has to come out there, with the gas. I don't think he can just sit back and take rounds off. I really don't.
I think you're gonna see a tactical fight the first 2 rounds. The first 2 to 3 rounds, I think the fight is gonna be very tactical. I don't see anybody pressing on the gas. I think Spence is going to figure out what exactly Terence Crawford has in those first 3 rounds. Then he's going to start pressing. Terence Crawford is going to wait till Spence starts pressing because he's going to believe that that's the opportunities for him to counter. Is going to try to use his aggression against him. That's how I think the fight is going to play out. So Terence will start off slow. Spence will just start off normally as he always does, pumping that jab, trying to get a feel for the distance, the range, trying to work his way inside with angles, but not necessarily being too aggressive, just trying to get on the inside, feel what he got, feel his strength, that kind of stuff. I don't think you're going to see fireworks right off the bat.
All right, that's all I have for you guys today, man. Salute.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Salute.
100.
All righty. That was banned up, man. I think that's the first time he called in, or maybe I just never caught it, but phone line's back open. Joan Turner believes Bud will be aggressive. Round 1. I don't think so. We got the 310 in the building. I believe this is my guy Adrian from Los Angeles. Am I correct?
You're dang right. LA. Adrian from LA, baby. What's up, guys?
What's going on with you?
Hey, man, I'm pumped up. Boots is my guy, right? Man, he looked great last night, man. I was so impressed. I was so happy, man. Yeah, Villa was tailor-made for him. But you know what, though, man? But Boots also showed me something. He showed me that he has a chin. Because he took a couple good hits, man. It didn't faze him a bit. He ate him up like nothing. I was just really impressed by Boots last night, man. And as far as Crawford goes, he's not a real switch hitter. Boots is a switch hitter. Boots be switching, and you don't even notice it, man. He's a southpaw. All of a sudden, he's at orthodox. I mean, he's just guy's just unbelievable, man. I'm just so happy with what he did last night. Really happy. I mean, the man has been blessed by the Lord, man. The Lord's blessed him with some talent, and he's just taking it to another level, man. But want to get your take on that, man. What do you think about him? Hopefully getting a shot at Stanionis. What do you think about that?
I would love to see him fight Stanionis. I think that would be a great fight. Because two younger guys in there is kind of settling who's going to be next at 147 pounds. I like that. I agree 100%. Terence Crawford is not a switch hitter. I've been saying that for years. Terence Crawford is simply a southpaw that sometimes fights out of orthodox, and then once the fight is not going in the manner in which he would like for it to go, then he switches back to his normal stance, which is southpaw, and then he has success. But people call that a high ring IQ. No, it's not. Then I'll address the whole comment that you made in terms of Boots Ennis and the fact that he's a real switch hitter and all that stuff. So Boots made a comment about both Errol Spence and Terence Crawford that we made a video about last week in regards to what makes each one of these individuals special. When he got to Terence Crawford, in my mind, it almost felt like he was disgusted because he didn't really say anything specific other than, I guess, he switched his. And it just seems like he finds it insulting that he's compared to Terence Crawford because he says that I can fight out of both stance equally. I'm equal on both sides. Terence Crawford really can't. He's really just a southpaw. So I agree with all that, and I'm just kind of tying it back into your man Boots in the comments that he made.
Wow. Yeah, I hear you all the way with that one right there. But you know, like to me, what Boots brings to the ring is, I mean, he's just fast. His jab is super fast. I mean, man. The way he was going to the body, I loved it, man. He just got to go to the next level, maybe get a fight against Stanionis. I don't think Thurman's going to take that heat, but hopefully he does, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I just want to see, hopefully Spence and Crawford, after their fight, hopefully they go up to 154, man, and not hold up the belts in the 147. Because if their rematches in the 147, man, it'll be holding Boots back, from getting a shot at that. Hopefully they'll move up to 154. Boots can clean everybody out at 147. Easy as that, man. That's what I see for Boots right there, because the guy is just phenomenal, man. I've been watching boxing for years, and he just does things that I haven't seen nobody do. I mean, I know you say Roy Jones is bad. Don't get me wrong, Roy Jones was a bad guy, man, but I just love Boots, man. But man, what Boots brings to the ring, he's a very humble guy as well. That's what I love about him. He had a great humbleness about him. So he's going to keep working hard in the gym because he doesn't believe that he knows it all, And I heard you guys comment earlier about Bosey's dad. Bosey's a great guy, man. Great guy. You never see him talking down on nobody. Even when he talks about Spencer Crawford, he always says, "Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy." The way he refers to them. So Bosey's just a real good man. He's raised his son right. They just got a real good family right there, straight up right there, man. So
yeah,
but
I like Bosey.
Yeah, there's 100%. It's a great family right there. But I just want to leave you guys at that right there because I just want to get my word in about Boots. I'm the biggest Boots fan ever. Biggest Mexican Boots fan out of L.A., baby. But, man, I love me some Boots, man. But Spence is going to win. Well, I'll talk to you guys next week about that. But Spence is definitely going to beat Crawford. But I'll leave you guys at that. God bless you both, man. Appreciate all you guys' time. Shout out to my dad in heaven. Love you, Dad. And my son, Jeremiah. Love you, son. You guys have a good day. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Adrian. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it,
for calling in. That was our friend of the show, Adrian. All right, man. Phone lines are back open. I saw Richard calling. Richard, I'm here waiting for you to call back. Yeah, man. Roy did that and much more. Yeah, I agree. Like Jason Williams, the whole he has the most diverse offense in 40 years. I can't co-sign that. I can't co-sign that. But he does look good, man. I like the way he looked. I definitely like the way he looked. I'm really hoping that the kid ends up being like that next dude at 147 and then move up and fight at 154. That would be great.
Hell yeah.
Richard, what's going on with you, man? How are you, sir?
What's up, Greg? Man, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, man.
I like that Boots fight last night.
Yeah, man, that was an excellent fight. I was saying
that was an really excellent performance there. Yeah. Hey, I want to say something about they call Spence basic. He's basic. My feeling about that is he's basically going to whoop Crawford's ass.
Uh-huh.
That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. You know, don't be surprised if he break Crawford's eye socket. You know,
I wouldn't be.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if this will stop it or whatnot. I heard Virgil Ortiz talking about the car crash and and that Spence has vices. I like Virgil Ortiz. Don't get me wrong, but that's not gonna matter in this fight. Spence is so focused and determined. He's gonna really put it on Crawford, and it's gonna be an excellent performance.
We'll see. He made the comment that it's gonna be it's on paper it's a great fight. Might be a one-sided ass whooping. I don't know, man. I struggle to believe that Terence Crawford's just gonna go in there and get his ass whooped. Now, if he just goes in there and get his ass whooped, that's Spence is at a whole nother level according to Jason Williams. So
I think I think that at first it'd be back and forth, but after a while Spence gonna take off.
I mean, it's possible. It depends on what happens in that back and forth. My thing about Errol is Errol got to be careful with getting clipped with something he doesn't see. I didn't hear Shawn Porter describe it. At least I don't remember Shawn Porter describing it, but I do remember Kell Brook describing his power. Terence Crawford power is shocking. I think Crawford has probably got like a kind of snappy punch. It's not a thudding punch. It's kind of like a snappy punch. I would
snapping punch.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he just go on instinct. He really don't know what he's doing. Sometimes I think the punch just come and the guys get caught. Sometimes not in every situation, but you can only do that so long. And like you say, I believe that I like Spence style. Just he's more fundamentally sound, and I'm going with him.
Yeah, we got him too. We're rocking with him as well.
Yeah, I'm going with him too. Well, that's all I wanted to say. And I got one more comment. This is the best podcast in the country.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all take it easy. Okay.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's amazing that we have the best podcast in the country, considering I'm sitting across from Timothy Bradley Jr.
You must be got a mirror up there. You ain't sitting across from me. I'm in a whole different city.
Timothy, figuratively speaking, dog. Jesus Christ, Timothy Bradley Jr. You're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason the Gray. Who do we have in the building?
Peace, y'all. My name's June BK from Brooklyn.
What's going on with you?
No, chilling, man. Definitely just started tuning into y'all show maybe like 2 weeks ago, man. So y'all been doing a good job, man. Y'all got me tuned in.
Appreciate it.
All right, come on, don't be so loud, man. Sorry, that's my son. He 1 year old, man.
Oh no,
running around here. But yeah, man, I just wanted to talk to y'all about something that not a lot of people are actually talking about right now. I'm actually a really big Spence fan. I've been to like the last two of his 3 fights. I went to the Ugas fight, went to the Shawn Porter fight, and I just realized that with both of them, actually, they have the chance to make history. And looking into the future, these guys have the chance to probably be undisputed at different weight classes. I mean, Terence Crawford already did at 140. He has the opportunity at 147 and possibly 154, and the same with Errol. So I'm just looking at the future of what the future of boxing has in store as far as that's concerned. Like, where does that place them all the time? You know what I mean? Looking past this fight.
Yeah, so if Terence Crawford becomes undisputed in his second weight class, beating Errol Spence, I would put him in the top 15
of all time.
All time, probably top 15. Top 15 to top 20, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because we're looking at something that's like we've really never seen before, but it's also never really been so easy where somebody's held as undisputed at different weights. We have a lot of undisputed champions right now. I don't think we've ever had this many at the same time.
Well, I guess in the one belt era, you would have had way more, right? But outside of that,
right. In the full belt era, yeah.
Yeah. So we got Devin Haney. We got Canelo Alvarez.
Jamel.
No one else is.
Jamel.
No one, oh, and Jamel.
We got Jamel.
Yeah, that's probably the most.
And then whoever wins this fight.
Yep, that'll be the most for sure. So, yeah, I got Terence Crawford maybe in the top 15, top 20. Errol in my mind solidifies his claim as a Hall of Famer. No, man, are you listening to becoming a 2-time undisputed?
So again,
exactly,
him beating Spence right now. He's already undisputed.
Becoming a 2-time undisputed champion, Jason. So he was undisputed at 140, and now he'll be 147 pounds. Doesn't have anything. He could be beating Joe Blow. It's not just about Spence. It's about him becoming undisputed for the second time.
No, context matters, man. You got who he fought to be undisputed.
If he had fought better competition, he would be in my top 5 probably. I'm not even thinking about that. So if you're trying to say the context of it, you're trying to speak to the context and say that. But I'm just talking about being undisputed 2 times, and I've already included that as a part of the context. He'd probably be in my top 15, top 20.
All right, that's pretty good. I mean, I think that's a pretty good place to put him. But I'm just excited to see what's in the future for these guys because, once they move up to 154 and possibly 160 for at least Errol, you know what I mean? Boots is going to only move up, and we got a lot of...
I don't know what happened there. He just dropped. Let me call this guy in. Oh, no, somebody else just dropped. I don't know what's going on there. No, I say top 15 because if you think about the win at welterweight against Errol, if he wins that fight and becomes 2-time welterweight champion, being welterweight champion at 147 when we know he was a monster validates his run at 140.
Yeah, but
Hey, you're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have in the building?
It's Lefty.
Lefty, what's going on, Lefty? This guy's talking about this and that and this and that, but they don't like me ranking Terence Crawford in the top 15 if he wins.
Yeah, that's way too high. I mean, if Errol beats Crawford, he ain't even top 15. That's way too high. Y'all putting too much into these trinkets.
No.
Instead of who they accomplished this against. I mean, this guy's 33 and the other guy's 36. Well, 32 and 36. And we talking about the best wins of their career. Well, you had guys who had surpassed, had 5, 6, 7 better wins at a way younger age. I think just for me, they both have left too much meat on the bone.
I'm not saying they haven't left too much meat on the bone, but I'm saying that when you look at it from the context of what you have accomplished and you put it through the context of the fact that he beat Errol Spence, who we all thought was the man at 147 pounds, I think that will put him in the top 15 to top 20.
No. I mean, okay, where do you have Pacquiao?
Pacquiao is probably maybe at the end of top 10, early teens, to the early teens, somewhere.
So you would have Crawford. So you basing this all on Crawford being unified two times with a win against Errol Spence, and meanwhile Pacquiao's never been unified. Period. He's never been unification. And you look at his resume, and it smokes both these guys' resumes. And remember, he did come back and beat Keith Thurman after he lost to Floyd Mayweather. This is a guy who's never been unified. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's putting a lot into this 2-time undisputed or undisputed. That's nice, but who did you beat to get undisputed?
That's fair.
Who did you beat?
Context.
Who did you beat to get these belts? You know, like Mayweather Junior, what did you say? Against who? Don't tell me what you did against. Tell me who you did it against.
You didn't make a good argument, Jason. Lefty actually is. So
man, shut up.
Thank him for coming on here and actually, what did you say? For beating Errol Spence, he's actually putting it in the context of Manny Pacquiao. He's putting it in the context of Manny Pacquiao.
The 2 top fighters abandoning their statuses in the WA to the World War. You talk about Boots and Vergil, neither one of my top fighters. They ain't did nothing either. They done less than buzz. So how can you call them 2 top fighters?
That's like these damn Shakur fans talking about, well, Pitbull ducked him and he wasn't fighting. Pitbull ducked everybody. Pitbull ducked Ryan Garcia. It's not the flex that y'all think it is. You know, all y'all wins are imaginary wins or supposed ducks and all this stuff. No. And we see Verge right now, he ain't even fighting anymore. So I want to talk about this Boots, man, because Boots impressed me last night. I know everybody don't hold Villa to a high standard, but I think Villa was a very tough matchup. It's a style that he needed to see, a fight of attrition, which Boots won. He showed he had a chin. He showed he can not only can he box from the outside, he could box a bigger, stronger guy on the inside. Because if you notice early in that fight, when he was in clinch, Boots couldn't turn him like he's been able to turn all these other guys. That guy was a solid, rock solid guy. And Boots had to really go into his bag to pull that one out. And that's what he did. After that 5th round, he turned it up another notch. And that boy never recovered from it. So that was a wonderful win by Boots. And Boots.
And see that I think it was a good win, Lefty. I don't know. Wonderful is too strong. I think it was a good win.
At this stage in his career, I'm talking about at this stage in his career. That was a wonderful win at this stage in his career because of the style he was facing. Because of the things he showed, because he was facing a bigger, stronger man. Like I know Villa would give a lot of guys problems because everybody was hiring Rashidi Ellis before the fight. Everybody was talking about Rashidi Ellis and Boots. It's the fight to make, and he beat the guy.
Yep.
He's one of them strong Margarito types. One of them types you got to beat. You got to beat the fight out of him. And Boots beat the fight out that boy, and that boy was trying to beat the fight out of Boots too. It's hard to beat the fight out of him, man. Because he wasn't going nowhere. He was not trying to go back to Venezuela, living on $3 a month. Okay. It's hard to beat the fight out of guys like that, man. And Boots got up there and beat the fight out that guy. He was a big, strong guy too, man. That guy, I'm telling you, go watch the first couple rounds of that fight when they was engaging and clinching, and Boots couldn't even move the guy. We used to see Boots do whatever you want to in the ring against these guys.
Jason was mentioning that when we were texting back and forth, man. He was like, man, when Villa throws something, man, it's like he's moving Boots like in ways that we haven't seen Boots moved in the past. So Jason highlighted that last night. Yeah,
but Boots' problem is now that my man Vergil is done, probably done with boxing. We don't know. You know for sure he's doing 147. We don't know. There's really no competition for Boots out there at this 147 level. So I understand he want to get his belt. So I think he should get his belt. But after that, he's going to the matchmaker with him is going to have to get very creative in order to give him a challenge. Because basically what it comes down to is people want to see guys they think can beat you. And right now, who do we think can beat Boots at 147?
I don't think anybody can beat him. I think maybe they might be able to highlight whether or not he's improved in deficiency, but beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Because we know he's not fighting. He's not fighting. Everybody talking about Crawford and Spence. Y'all can get that off our head. He's not fighting those two guys.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, y'all might as well forget about that. They've already put in their work, and they on to the next part of their career. Boots is trying to get to where they are. They 30-something years. They 30-something years old. Boots is what, 26?
26.
So he's going to have to find some smoke around his age. So they're going to have to get real creative with his matchmaking. I mean, once he get his title at 147, probably unify with Stanionis. And then he got to start looking not just at 154, depending on who up there. I mean, I'd love to see him fight like a Tim Tszyu if he's a champion, or who is that? Elijah Garcia, is that the other boy? You got to get creative with his matchmaking because it just ain't nobody out here. You have to get somebody who we think can beat him, and right now it ain't nobody we think can beat him.
I agree. And that's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, that's like man. I swear to God, these Crawford fans gonna be especially. If Spence beat him, they still gonna be talking about who didn't fight Bud.
Who you got in that fight, Lil? Who you got in that fight?
I am rooting for Spence hard in that fight. It's 50-50, but I'll be rooting for Spence 100% hard. I hope he go ahead and make this man retire, so this era of boxing can be over with, and we can move on to the next.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in this era of it moving on as well.
Yeah, and also with Keith. You know, that includes Keith Thurman also. I wouldn't mind seeing Ugas keep on fighting because Ugas will fight anybody. Now, you want to talk about who will fight Boots, it'll be Ugas. He don't care. He going to fight anybody. He ain't going to beat him, but that'll give him a different look.
Yeah, it'll give him a different – you'll definitely give him a different look. But, to your point, I don't think he'll beat him. Now, isn't there some talk around Keith Thurman and Ugas potentially fighting somewhere in the fall?
Yeah, they're supposed to be fighting next.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They talking about what, August?
I think it might be August. I gotta look again. I think it might be August. But yeah, that's I'll be rooting for Ugas in that fight because we know Ugas will fight Boots. He don't care. Keith Thurman ain't going nowhere near the boy. He's gonna try to finagle his way into some type of Spence Crawford win or some kind of way. He might get it too, depending on if they want a rematch or not. But he might get it. But
it wouldn't surprise me if he would.
Come September 30th, the real best fighter, American fighters generation is gonna show y'all that the time for disrespect is over with. They disrespected his whole career. They try to say what he didn't do or who he didn't fight. Try to act like he fought nothing but bums. And he's going to go in there and he's going to beat Canelo. Canelo is right for the picking, and they done picked the right one to get up there and pick him.
Mm-hmm.
They picked the meanest of the twins.
Huh?
They got the meanest of the twins.
Yeah. I mean, you can't think of a guy out there in boxing. The only guy out there in boxing who is more experienced in different fighters, different fights, different styles, different big fights than Jermell Charlo is Canelo. It ain't nobody that's been more experienced and more ready to fight Canelo than Jermell Charlo. And this boy's going to go in there and show y'all who the real true. Now, you want to talk about two-time undisputed? This one is one that really would impress. Because what he did at 50, who he beat at 54 to get it, then who he goes up to 62 weight class and 68 to get it. But he's going to do it, man. This boy's going to pull it out. And good luck to Shakur trying to get extra 5%. Go talk to Bob Arum, because that ain't Devin problem. And get you some money, because Shakur done ran into that to the proverbial top rank wall where all high risk, low reward fighters run into, where there ain't enough money for them to pay other opponents, and now you're just sitting around looking for somebody to give you opportunity that's never gonna come until you leave them. That we've seen over and over and over again. So don't get mad at Devin. Go talk to your promoter and ask for that extra 5, 10, 15%, whatever you want. I mean, they did it for Lomachenko. I mean, for Tio, when he wanted to fight Lomachenko, you remember they couldn't find, when Tio kept complaining about money, and they went out and found it? Everybody said about Loma gave part of his purse. No, he did not. Top Rank got that extra money to make that fight. So go talk to Bob instead of getting on the internet complaining about what Devin Haney offered. He didn't offer you nothing. Bob came in with that number. Devin said, this is what I need, and that 25% is what you was left with. That's not on Devin. That's on your promoter, one of your promoters. You got two of them and a manager. Two promoters and a manager. You on Twitter asking people for fights. What you paying them for? Tell them
Who's the second promoter? Who's the second promoter? I know Jay Prince's manager.
Antonio Leonard. Jay Prince is his manager. Antonio Leonard, who is Jay Prince's right-hand man, is his co-promoter. Why this guy's his co-promoter, I have no idea. The dude don't even promote his own fights. He the co-promoter. Every fighter that Jay Prince got signed to top rank, Antonio Leonard is the co-promoter of. Go look at Jaron Ennis last fight. Co-promoted by Antonio Leonard. But he don't even promote his own fights like Samson. Samson, he'll do a fight in the Dominican Republic. He promote his own fights without Al Heyman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This dude don't promote nothing. But for some reason, if you sign to Jay Prince, you got to be signed to Antonio Leonard Promotions, which is, well, I ain't gonna say it's weird. We all know what's going on. That's that music industry. That music industry shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where the record company and your manager is working hand in hand.
Yeah.
Hand in hand to take something out your pocket. But anyway, like I said, he complained about what 25% that it didn't dare been offering. That's what was left over. Tell Bob to go get the rest of that money. Then you get to fight, but he ain't gonna do that. So what Shakur need to do is move his ass up, go to 140 and fight Tio, and beat him before Devin get a shot at it. Or you just gonna be sitting around, still always playing second fiddle, always one step behind, because these guys ain't got no agency about themselves like Floyd did. Floyd saw where his career was landing, was headed, and said, I got to get out of here, and I got to make some moves. I got to make some shit shake, because I already see where my career was going to end up. But these Negroes think they could do the same thing and reinvent the wheel. Even though Floyd already showed you the game plan, they think they can reinvent the wheel. You saw it happening with your boy Crawford, but you think you could go over there and reinvent the wheel. You're not going to reinvent the wheel, my man.
Hey, question. What make you think that Tio would actually take a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
Because he wants more money, he wants a pay-per-view fight. And that would be the pay-per-view fight. Since he beat Loma, all you've been talking about, we going to be on pay-per-view. They promised me 3 pay-per-views and this and that. What do you get? Three ESPN fights, right?
Yeah. But Shakur Stevenson in the pay-per-view fight, that's an ESPN fight too.
No, Shakur and Tio, if Devin and Loma could be a pay-per-view, Shakur and Tio definitely could be a pay-per-view and will perform better.
You got two guys that's always had great ratings at ESPN, and two talkers, two guys that are great talkers. Devin sold that fight himself. Loma probably put out like 2 promos, and that was it.
I don't really see Shakur as a great talker. But go ahead.
I mean, no, he's a great. He can feed off of T.O.'s BS.
Okay, probably.
They can feed off each other. Very boisterous. Both of them are very boisterous. You know, T.O. is very boisterous. And, bro, look, everybody knows T.O. Everybody knows Devin. I think, I'm telling you, that's I see it as a good fight.
I see it as a good fight. I'm not sure you can get away with putting that on pay-per-view. That's my.
If you can get away with Devin versus Loma, you can get away with T.O. versus Shakur. Shakur has the highest ratings at Top Rank recently. T.O. has the second highest rating. And before Shakur, he had the higher rating. These are two known guys within what it takes. You got to get 2 known guys and 2 guys that people care about, either hate or love, and sell the personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Shakur got a lot of fans. T.O. got a lot of haters. I know I'm one of them. They make that fight. I'm going to buy it. You know, pay-per-view ain't always necessarily about best fighting the best. It's about personalities that people care about and willing to spend their money on. And those are 2 guys that I see they are both willing to spend their money on. But, you know, we got to get it. I'm telling you, man, this fight would do. I mean, I think the fight would do very well.
What do you define as very well?
200 to 250.
What did Devin
in the digital age, that's very well, because you don't have to share the money.
Do?
Yeah. So in the digital age, that's very well. 250,000. That's very well.
No. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that what did Devin and Lomachenko do? Didn't they do like 100, 150?
150, around 150, 150 something.
And you think T.O. and Shakur would do more? I can't see it.
Yes. Yeah, go look at what the trend is. T.O. T.O. in the small room just almost cleared $1 million gate in the small room at Madison Square Garden. His tickets were priced at the price point of what Tank's tickets were priced at Barclays. He did it at the small room in Madison Square Garden, and he almost cleared $1 million in the gate. Mm-hmm. Maybe cleared, but I know he almost cleared $1 million in the gate. That's one of the highest gates for boxing that the small hall has had.
Yeah.
Shakur always has great ratings. Shakur, it's his hometown. He does do about 10,000-11,000 in his hometown, which is good. These 2 people have a fan base that are willing, because T.O. did it against Josh Taylor. Don't nobody know Josh Taylor. They seen him fight once over here when it was during the pandemic, and it was in Vegas, in a limited crowd. So he was able to sell, at least 5,000 tickets at the same price point as Gervonta Davis sold, 15,000 at Barclays. And did $5 million. So yeah, T.O. is not. T.O. is. I'm telling you, if you look at that, all the numbers, all their data is they both are trending up, and they both have data to back up a point to where they should be pay-per-view, and where they would do very good numbers on pay-per-view. See what I'm saying?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think.
Yeah, Devin did 150 at $60. Yes, this one wouldn't be $60 because you don't have to sell it for $60. And that's another thing that shows you that they wasn't really. As confident in this pay-per-view. They did it because that was the only thing that could make the fight happen. Pricing is that lower, hoping to grab a couple thousand more buyers, maybe 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about what I'm saying, man. I'm telling you, can do 230, 300,000. I'm telling you, look at their numbers, look at their data. It's been trending up. They both are good ticket sellers in their designated area. You put this fight in MSG on pay-per-view, it's gonna clear 200,000.
Definitely, I believe it should be in that locale for sure, because that's gonna bring out the most people. Yeah, I'm struggling with 250. I can't.
619. T.O. did 930 viewers versus Sando Martin. He did over $1 million. Then he did over $1 million against Josh Taylor. And who nobody knows Sando Martin or Josh Taylor. The numbers, their data proves that they can do a pay-per-view together and do good numbers.
I think so. No, I hear what you're saying. I don't think that fight is ever going to happen, but so it might be a moot point to even discuss it. But I don't think.
Shakur why don't you think it'll happen?
I don't think Shakur Stevens is going to move up and actually fight him at 140.
So what Well, so what is he gonna do?
I don't know what the hell. I think he's gonna end up fighting somebody that we
He
probably
gonna
don't
fight
want to see him
this
fight.
Beretta check dude. What's his name? That's number 2 in the WBO. So he gonna spend 2023 his 6th year as a pro boxer. Go look at Floyd Mayweather's 6th year as a pro boxer. Look at Shakur Stevenson's 6 years as a pro boxer. So he's gonna spend his 6th year as a pro boxer fighting Yoshino and Brinchnik, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And then going to no. At some point you have to take a risk. At some point you got to mash the gas. You want this Devin fight so much, and you want more than you want the pot to be bigger than what it is. You want to mash the gas and go out there and do it. You got to do your part too. Devin has done his part. You have to do your part. You just can't. You just not go. Your part is not just because I'm good, I should get this. No. You have to do your part also. And doing this part, to me, you go to 140, get there before Devin do, beat the number 1 dude at 140 before Devin does. And then what? You got to trap. You got to corner these guys to where they can't run like Floyd did. Floyd cornered Oscar to where he couldn't do nothing but fight Floyd.
Facts.
Exactly.
You know, but they let these folks. I'm not gonna say it on y'all show. Y'all know how I get on my space. They let these folks that don't know nothing about us tell them how to market towards us. And then they get in these self-fulfilling prophecies because they don't know nothing about us, where they get in these self-fulfilling prophecies that black fighters can't sell. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy for a lot of these guys because they don't know how to sell it towards black fighters. But when you look at the actual data, black people watch more boxing than just about anybody else. It's like blacks and Mexicans watch the most boxing.
Yep, I would agree with that.
We spend a lot of money. You see this fight this weekend. You got Bud versus Crawford. Bud versus Spence about to do $22 million gate. That's 2 black fighters. But they get into these self-fulfilling prophecies because they don't know what they're doing and have assumptions that aren't true and they don't know how to sell it. That's what I'm saying. These fighters, you should know your people better than they do. That's one thing about Floyd. He knew his people better than they did.
He did,
and he wasn't going to let them tell him what his people will and won't support.
Facts. That's exactly right. 100%. Because a lot of that support came from the African American community, and I think that's part of what Leonard and Floyd have discovered. They understand how to market to that demographic. Yes.
To that demographic so good that like people try to make this thing out like Mel don't have a big fan base. Mel was one of 7 fighters last year that did $1 million gate with Castano 2. Mel, Canelo twice, Gervonta Davis, Danny Garcia versus Benavidez in New York, Deontay Wilder versus Helenius in New York, Errol Spence versus Ugas, and Bud Crawford versus Avenesian. So this idea that black fans don't buy or black fighters can't sell, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy for a lot of these guys because they don't know what they're doing and they refuse to invest and refuse to hire people to get them to understand that. So out of all those people, Ryan Garcia too. So Ryan Garcia and Canelo with Danny Garcia, those are the 3 non-black. The other 4 were black.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there is an audience out there. You just don't know how to get to it. So you make up these excuses. You make up these narratives because you're not good at the job. But Mel had a Latino dance partner. No, Mel, you talking about, bro? Listen, let me tell you something, John Turner, because I'll embarrass you. I know people who was at the fight, and the fight was in L.A. with a majority black crowd. Those little Argentinians with their little flag. As soon as he got knocked out, they packed up and left, and the place was still full. Come on. I can show you videos. I'll send Greg and Jay. I'll send you all the videos of people I know was there was showing the crowd. It was a majority black crowd. Stop that. See, this is what I'm saying. It's people like Jaron Turner who believe these narratives instead of looking into the numbers and the data and doing the work for themselves. I used to be like you too. When they used to tell me, well, Andre Ward doesn't sell enough chickens to fight Triple G. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? So when I started looking into it, I'm like, these people are selling a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of fucking lies. And then you have to ask yourself, why are they selling these lies? And that's why you see this company that caters towards, who is not afraid to cater towards an African-American audience, has the biggest fight. Mm-hmm. While these other people who refuse to or haven't made up in their mind that we're not worth catering towards are doing fucking fights with their biggest stars are doing smaller fights. Okay. I don't know, man. I just have to cook for a minute. Yeah, that's about it, man. And let's go Boots. Let's go Spence. And come September 30th, the greatest American fighter of this generation is going to show y'all who the real greatest is.
There we go. All right, appreciate you, Left, man. Left called in and cooked for a little bit.
Man.
All right, man. Phone lines are back open. That was Lefty of the Lefty and Jake Show, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard every Saturday morning. Go check it out.
Hey, Greg, have you seen in the chat who filming been in Israel? I don't know if he trolling. He said Gamboa is better than Spence, man.
Who is it? Raheem Gaimon?
No. We move on up. Philemon been in Israel. He tripping.
You are on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have in the building?
Man, you should know me, man. It's Donald, man.
Donald?
Out the bay.
Donald. I knew it was you, Donald. I just wanted to make sure. I'm gonna give you a chance.
I was just messing with you. I kind of wanted to build on what the last caller was saying. I agree with a lot of what he said, but I disagree with Devin. I mean, not with Devin, but with Shakur and Tio. That fight would never happen for several reasons. Number one, Tio is pretty much known that he don't fight black fighters, so that would never happen. Number two, like you said, I don't see Shakur moving up the one at least yet. That wouldn't. And number three, the main thing, Tio's retired, so that so that would never happen. So I mean, it would be a good fight, but that would never happen. And then I wanted to talk about the whole Dev and Shakur thing. Man, whoever Shakur's people, they need to take his phone because his likability. I'm sure you heard what happened yesterday. Like every time he get online, it just get worse for him. Somebody needs to.
What happened yesterday?
Pull up one of his goons, huh?
What happened yesterday?
Okay, so he called out Loma for a fight.
I saw that.
And then Loma said no because I guess he's trying to get a rematch with Dev.
Right.
But he threw Devin in the mix. So he was like, since Devin is too scared to fight me, why don't you fight me? And then Loma was like, nah, because I got unfinished business with Dev. But then people were calling Shakur out on how respectful he was. Like Devin, you talking trash, calling him a duck, calling him fake. But then, you got your suit and tie on for Loma, and you still got turned down. So he was trending again. Yes. So he was trending again. And then Devin he liked one of the tweets because somebody noticed, like, basically how he changed his energy for Loma. You coming at Devin, the guy who was actually undisputed, you would think you would talk to the undisputed champion more respectfully if you want to fight. But you talk to the guy who lost with your suit and tie on, but then you talk to Devin as, expletives, you a duck and all this. So, and then Devin liked one of the tweets that somebody noticed. So, yeah, Shakur, man, Jay Princey to pull up one of his goons or something and take the phone away from him because, man, I never seen somebody likability go so wrong in a matter of 2 weeks. Like, man.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of talking here, man, over the last several weeks, and I just feel like you got to start questioning the reason for going on social media and trying to make a fight when there's an opportunity to just reach out to your promoter or your manager or your second promoter and try to figure out a way to make the fight. So that's the part to me that it starts to feel disingenuous if you're not truly trying to if you're trying to make the fight through social media. It just starts to feel like there's no real desire to actually make it.
None.
Yeah. Just like the guy said, I don't know if it was the last call. I think 2 calls ahead. He was like, "What are you paying your promoter for if you actually, going online?" And like I'm sure he got Loma's number or he could get it easily from Bob. Why you hitting him up over Twitter asking for a fight? Like it's almost like why are you paying percentage out of your check for if you calling for fights? It don't make no sense.
Exactly. Big facts.
And and then it's just and then he's running with this narrative that I'm the boogeyman, nobody wants to fight me, when that's clearly not true. Like Edwin Dos Santos been calling him out. He act like I guess he's too big for him. I don't get how that is. And then Jermaine Ortiz been calling him out. He act like you don't hear him. And then Devin gave you a shot. Who's supposed to be so scared of you? Gave you a shot at undisputed at a percentage that was actually higher than you're supposed to get. He's not even next in line. He gave up his spot for Loma. So somebody put up the WBO website and it said somebody in Shakur's position only supposed to get 18%. So this guy obviously 7% higher, and that's and so you turning that down, but you so-called the boogeyman. It's like where is this coming from?
What was the comment now in terms of the percent split? What were you saying now? I missed that last part.
So somebody pulled up the WBO website and said the fighter in Shakur, because remember, Shakur is not next up in line. He was next up in line, but when Loma lost to Devin, he willingly gave up his spot for Loma. So now Loma's back in line for another rematch. If Devin don't move up to 135, it would have been Shakur next in line for a shot at Devin. But he gave up his spot, so he's not even Devin's mandatory. Loma's Devin's mandatory now.
Okay.
You guys hear me?
Yeah. I hear you. I know. Loma was the mandatory. I thought it was just a change that was made by. For some reason, I keep thinking it was the WBC, but I keep hearing you guys say the WBO, so maybe that's where I'm getting thrown off.
Yeah.
But, I know.
So somebody put. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the only thing I was saying was that I know that he had made a change. There was a change to the rankings because it was supposed to be Shakur as the mandatory, but they installed Lomachenko. Basically, it seemed like to give him an opportunity for a rematch. But I know what you're talking about. I saw that somewhere as well. Somebody put up the WBO rules and talked about the split percentage, and it was, I don't know, 19% or something like that, 18%, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but you so-called the boogeyman and next Floyd, and I was like, where is this coming from? You're totally not. You got fights that you can have right now. You can have a shot at undisputed right now. You just don't want to take it. And I think he's jealous of Dev because when he addresses Dev, he called him little bro. Okay, so a guy that's younger than you already got what you're trying to get at a younger age. So I think he's jealous because I think if it was the other way around and Loma was offering him a fight, I think he would take that in no minute. But it's Devin, and I'm not saying like you don't want to take it to a black fighter. I'm saying like it could even be Devin if he didn't know Devin, because him and Devin, they damn near grew up as brothers. I know it don't seem like that, but they damn near kind of grew up as like damn near like brothers. If you go back to amateurs, but if it was Devin and he didn't really know Devin that well, he would probably took it. But I think it's a little jealousy, like because it's like I feel like he's being son, like he got to take 25% to his little brother, which is like you said, Devin is doing you a favor. Like if he really wanted to duck, he could just hold you to the 18% that you're actually supposed to get.
Yeah, interesting perspective there. Anything else you want to share with
people? Oh no, I just want to say that people just keep piling on Devin. And like that, honestly, I'm biased because I'm from Oakland, Devin, but it's just like this dude is not getting no respect. It's just like, okay, he could easily just move up to 140 right now. Like, actually, what I think he should do, especially if you look at what happened to Vergil Ortiz with fainting and all that. Like, people don't realize like the danger that these guys put their bodies through to make these weight classes. If you see Devin walking around when he don't have a fight, Devin, it looks like he's damn near like 170. People don't realize that Devin, when you see him without a fight, he's actually a really big guy. He looks small and like a kid on TV, but if you see him in person, he's actually a big guy. It's almost like, damn, you can make 135. It's almost like you see him, it's like he should be fighting at 147 or 154.
Right. No, he does look big. And I'm pretty sure he'll be able to fit into 140 and eventually 147 with no problem. Yeah.
And so, like I said, they just just the disrespect he keeps getting, like, and they honestly, they not asking. I'm gonna just say this, but they not asking no other fighter to do this. So they're asking him to go Loma. They said he was ducking Loma, which I don't get that because he been called Loma out. But they said he was ducking Loma. He fights Loma. Okay, now fight Shakur. Now he's offering Shakur to fight. Then they're going to ask him to fight Tank. Like, who else in boxing are asking to do this? Like, they're not asking any other fighter in boxing. They're not even asking Canelo to do this. They just, you got to go from here. It's constantly prove yourself. Okay, you didn't prove it. It's like, they're not asking him, you know, and he keeps doing it. Like I said, he wants to fight. In an era where, like, everybody's ducking, this guy actually wants to fight. He's never ducked any fighter, right? I mean, I'm sure the Tank people are going, oh, you ducked the Tank. Check the history. He's been calling out Tank. He didn't even have to entertain this Shakur stuff. He could have just moved up to 140. He's entertaining that. I even heard that which I don't think he should do. He's even entertaining a rematch with Loma. I think that's a stupid move because Loma is clearly playing the politics now. But so it's like this dude hasn't ducked one fight, but he keeps getting disrespected, called a duck, and you know I don't get where it's coming from.
Yeah, I think it all started with the email champ stuff, and I don't think it's ever stopped from there. I think, man, I like Devin. I actually like Shakur, too. I like both fighters. I like Devin. I like everything Devin is stood for. I like what Devin went over there and did, whether or not we believe Kambosos is a great fighter or not. Now, I do understand some people's position in terms of Devin Haney and the fact that, you know, he was calling a lot of people out and they didn't feel like he was really willing to make those fights. We'll see coming up. I think he's going to be willing to make the Tank Davis fight for sure. But then also the behaviors when someone calls him out. I can understand that perspective of it. I just feel like right now when I think about Devin versus Shakur, I just don't feel like, I don't know, man. It depends on how the deal is structured, but it doesn't really feel like that's a fight that you would want to make today. You would want that fight to simmer and marinate for a little bit because there'll be an opportunity to make money down the line if these two guys remain on the same course that they're currently on.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard this a few times that that fight is not even going to happen anyway, even if no matter what happens to us. Because I heard that Bob don't want to make this fight marinate. He thinks that they're both still young, and this is a fight they can make at 140 or 147. So I heard that the fight's not even going to get made anyway.
I don't see this fight getting made anytime soon. At all. I think
even though people, you know, Bill has said this, but you know, people hate Bill, so nobody believes Bill. But he said that Bob has told them, like, no, we're not making this fight right now. Like, they're both young. They're both, I don't know I forget how old Shakur is, but Devin's not even 25 years old. Like, this is a fight that, you know, this could be like the next Spence and Bud fight. So, but Bill said that, like, Bob is a no-go in this fight anyway.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. I think to the point that that Lefty made earlier, Shakur has probably gotten to a stage of his career similar to Floyd, where he's kind of hit that proverbial wall, and there's going to be a challenge to actually, unless he takes a big risk, there's going to be a challenge to get out of that, or he's going to have to figure out a way to get out of all those different contracts that he's currently signed to. So, I mean, it is what it is. It'll be interesting. I don't know if T.O. is going to be a real avenue for him, but I don't know what he's going to do next. I think he's going to end up fighting one, maybe De Los Santos or someone like that. Well, no, not him. It's going to be somebody that's highly rated, but not necessarily a fighter that we want to see. The Ukrainian fighter, whatever his name was. I can't pronounce his name. Start with a B. But I can't see it.
Yeah.
But man, anything else you want to share with the people?
Fighter. No, I'm gonna cut out. But I just want to say I'm not hating on Shakur. I actually was at Shakur and Oscar Valdez. I bought tickets, flew out to go see that fight. So I'm not, anti-Shakur, but I am pro Devin because, like I said, he is an Oakland guy. But I mean, I'm calling it the way I see it. Like, this guy running around here talking about he's a boogeyman and people scared of him, and that's clearly not true. So, I think he wants to kind of give off that perception, but it's not true. People, I'm sure he does have people out there that don't want to fight him, but you also have fighters that are willing to fight him. And he, everybody knows this. So, like I said, like I said, in Shakur and Devin, that's probably not going to happen regardless. So, yeah.
Right. Well, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
But I just chimed in to say that, man, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, man. Appreciate you for calling in, man. Thank you.
All right.
That was Donald calling out of the Bay, Jay. Phone lines are back open. But there's a lot of people that want to cook on this whole thing with Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, man. There's some very passionate opinions about these two individuals. Two fighters that I like. I kind of lean a little bit more towards Devin. But I do want Devin to and I think Devin has acknowledged the fact that, you know, Shakur's supposed to call him out. He was doing the same thing, and he's good with that. I just don't see the fight actually happening right now because I just don't think the fight makes financial sense to do it at this moment.
Yeah.
And Shakur, in my opinion, man, he got to the point that the caller made. He got to lay off for Twitter, man, and it's again disingenuous if you go into Twitter talking about signing the contract and all this other stuff and sending, I don't know, bouquets of flower or whatever it was that he sent to Devin with a signing contract. I don't know what it was, but all that starts to seem like, man, it's stunts rather than actually believing that there's a fight to be made there.
I agree. Now, same thing we talked about Tank when Tank was doing stuff like that too. You know, same difference, same thing. You know, just lay off on that. I mean, real deals ain't gonna really get made on Twitter like that. You know, he has some fights he could have. You know, he has some fights there to be made for him, but it's up to him.
Yep. I don't disagree.
You know, and he's a damn good fighter. That's what's frustrating me because he's a good fighter. I think he's a damn good fighter.
Who are you talking about, Shakur?
You know, Shakur, Shakur's a damn good fighter. You know, but you gotta get some fights in. Sometimes you gotta humble yourself to some degree and go from there.
Yeah, I think Shakur looks really good. I think stylistically he beats Devin Haney. But I think he's going all over. I think it's wrong. The way he's going about trying to get the fight is wrong. I think he needs to try to figure out what's best for his career and what path he needs to go to maximize his career and forget about, you know, what he's currently doing. And I don't know. Maybe this has been the way that people have been able to build some of these big fights is by tying somebody's name to someone else's name. So I can understand why he might be doing that right now, and I don't want to necessarily knock that. But at the same time, I mean, it could rub people the wrong way, but at the same time, it can create this level of passion where people will be interested in seeing the fight later on. So I can kind of see both the yin and the yang to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want him to get a fight, you know, go ahead and get the fight either with Dos Santos or, you know, you said to mention another kid, didn't you?
His name was let me look. Dennis
I think he's number
Barinch, something like that.
Yeah, Denny. Yeah, he's number 3 in the WBO right now. I knew you talking.
Yeah.
I see the name. I think I've only seen him fight once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I have to look more about him. But I mean, it's fights for Shakur. You know, he can still get some fights in there. You know, he just get a fight, not get a fight done. You know, I don't think he's not gonna get a Devin fight. He's not gonna get a Tank fight. He's not gonna get a Frank Martin fight. You know, Camboso's already said no. Camboso got a fight coming up this month, next week, I think. That might help.
Yeah,
that might be an option if Camboso goes that route. But you know, Edwin's been calling him out. Edwin's already in the He's ranked number 9 in the WBC.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and why Shakur don't got no smoke for the WBC by screwing him over by putting Lomachenko, keeping Loma at number 1?
That's odd. I would have thought
you know what I'm saying?
Upset about that as well.
I'd have been heated.
That's why, man. It's kind of like everything that's being done here is odd. I just don't understand like the thought process behind what it is that he's doing. I'm not tracking with it. Somebody mentioned Frank Martin in the comment section. I don't know if Shakur has absolutely no energy for that fight. Remember, he was talking about Frank Martin need to be focused on Keyshawn Davis and not him because he had basically elevated himself so much above Frank Martin at 135 pounds, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because I don't think he's done anything more than what Frank Martin has done. As a matter of fact, Frank Martin's record at 135 pounds is more impressive than his. So I didn't quite get why he was elevating himself above Frank Martin. I think a lot of people would enjoy seeing that fight, particularly because it's going to be someone who's going to test some of the skills of Shakur Stevenson to give him a real challenge at 135. I think that's a pretty good fight at 135. And I think Frank Martin and Errol Spence would be willing to make that fight. So, but I don't know if I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think Shakur really wants that fight. Shakur is trying to jump right into every title. I'm the best, so forth and so on. He's trying to get right there, like in his next move. And I mean, you're gonna have to take probably a couple of side steps before you get there.
Yeah, it's just frustrating because when you see talent, you know, the potential of Shakur, you want to see him fight, but with him, he's in there, and you know.
I could have swore. I want to address what Jay just said. I could have sworn I saw Spence, an interview from Spence, where he specifically stated he would like that fight for Frank Martin. So
I think he did say that a while back. I know recently he was asked something about if he liked the Tank fight. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he said something about the Shakur fight too, that he would make those fights that Frank has gotten to a point now where those fights would be good fights for him. So I don't remember him saying he wouldn't. Any fight that's not a co-network between TR and PBC ain't happening. Nobody's giving Bob options on their fighter, and Bob won't make the fight without options if his fighter loses. Gotcha. But yeah, man.
That's just it's wild to me. It's just frustrating, man. I hate seeing this route here. Just someone grab his phone, grab his iPad or whatever, and delete the Twitter and all that stuff so he can't tweet no more or something.
Man.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look when he's been all back and forth, especially with the Loma fight. First he said, Loma won that fight easy against Dev. And he said, no, it was closer than what it was. You know, then he does that tweet yesterday, you know, yeah, Loma, you deserve to win, you the champ. I'm like, bruh, I'll be heated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be heated. If I was Shakur, I'd be heated first and foremost for them not putting me at number one and keeping Loma there. Damn that. He lost. He took the L. I was number two. I should be moved up. You know, now granted, Shakur only has one fight at 135, so they could look at that as well. But nah, man, I'll be heated at WBC for pulling that stunt on me. One anything else.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, J Wash 4. Appreciate the $4.99, my man. He said Shakur could have took one fight and accomplished something that usually takes fighters years to do, if ever. Can't turn. Yeah, I mean, although he felt, you know, that 25%, we don't know what 25% of what it was, but that's an opportunity. You know, that's one time you have a chance to bet on yourself. You bet on yourself that one time, you control all the chess pieces after that. You control the board after that.
Exactly. Jay Wash, appreciate you, man. Shakur could have took one fight and accomplished something that usually take fighters. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that you did that.
Dang it, man.
Sorry, I was looking up something else. No, Jay, I was looking up interviews where I saw.
He says he has.
I was actually looking up interviews where Spence actually did state that he liked to fight for Shakur. So down the road, I don't know. I guess that depends on how you view down the road. But I know for a fact Shakur said that he didn't want to fight Frank Martin, that he should fight Keyshawn.
He pushed it out Keyshawn.
That's for a fact. 100% he said that. And that was recent.
Yeah. He definitely pushed that on Keyshawn. You know. So Keyshawn should go ahead and fight the Super Six, Tank, Stevenson, Frank Martin, Lomachenko, Pitbull, Cruz, and one more name. You can scratch Pitbull Cruz, man, because he ain't done nothing but lose to Tank. That's one thing he did. Fought a super old Gamboa. You know, so I mean, I'm Pitbull. Pitbull is just nah. Loma,
I thought he was one of your favorite fighters.
Who?
Pitbull.
Oh, that's your favorite fighter? I didn't know that.
I thought he was one of your favorite fighters. Every time I turn around, you want him to fight Tank. I'm just okay.
Man, stop lying, man. If you scroll in the chat, you would see that I said I don't want to see Tank versus Pitbull Cruz Part 2. I don't want to see that ever.
That ain't what you said a few weeks ago. But go ahead.
Stop lying, man. That sharp mind is failing you, I see.
Boy, Jason is so envious of my sharp mind. Stop being envious of my sharp mind.
He said you were me at the beginning of the podcast.
I also called you Timothy Bradley Jr.
And that was a lie right there. See? That's a lie. You know that's a lie. But yeah, man. Now I saw people in the chat just start saying different things. Someone said Gamboa was better than Spence. I can't get over that.
You are on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have in the building?
We got SLD, the Sick Lyrical Damager.
What's going on with you, bro?
What's happening?
Slow motion better than no motion, man. That's how we do it.
Facts.
How y'all feeling today, brothers?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Chilling.
Yeah, I can't complain, man. That fight last night was, it's top notch, man. Skill, defense, ability. Sky put it all together and showed everybody why he's one of the, leading candidates for taking over that division. I thought Jaron did exactly what he was supposed to do, but we got to stop. Sometimes we get so spoiled with people, with talent, and we don't appreciate being displayed. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of what I mean. I have people saying, he got hit a couple of times in that fight, man. He shouldn't have got hit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't even remember a round that this man has lost in 30 fights. If you go look, if you can find it, show it to me. I don't remember a round where he actually, you can say, yeah, he lost that round. It was terrible. He lost that round.
Right.
But people talk about it like this man is supposed to win every round, never get hit, always be in position, never have make a mistake. They're giving him criticism that and I love, they're giving him that Crawford get hit all the time. Spence get hit. Floyd got hit. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, it's boxing. Everybody gonna get hit.
He gonna get hit.
It's insanity.
I didn't have a problem with Boots getting hit last night, and here's why. Because he fought a lot inside, really trying to take away what was, in my opinion, the best attribute from Villa. And in doing so, you're going to put yourself in harm's way. So you're going to get hit sometimes. But it wasn't because of necessarily poor defense. I mean, you can't slip and block every punch. So I didn't really have an issue with what I saw last night in terms of getting hit. I thought he looked real sharp. But again, you gotta get it, put it in the proper context. The fighter was similar to what we've seen him against in the past, except I think he's a definitely a better version of any of those fighters. Bigger, taller, stronger, and to me probably tougher.
Yeah, once him taking a shot too,
I
shows
agree.
he can take a shot too.
Go ahead, Jason.
It showed him taking
he took
a couple of shots. It shows he has a chin. He shows he can take, because he took those shots and were clean and then move.
I can't. Yeah, Jason.
Oh, Jason wasn't saying anything.
He took those shots, and he really wasn't phased by him. He took some clean shots. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and my thing is this: like we gotta stop. We need answers. We need questions answered all the time about any boxer. I don't care who it is. We need those questions answered, and they have to be answered. A clean shot. What will he do if he get hurt? If he get knocked down, will he get back up? We need these answers, because there's no way to call somebody a great fighter if no questions is ever answered. If everything is always easy, then you know what we're going to keep doing? Every time he get into a fight, same thing they do. Oh, man, I'm telling you, Boots gun, this might be it. Man, he going to get knocked out. And then when he wins, oh, man, yeah, he was supposed to do that. Yep, I knew it. That guy was no good. We're tearing down other boxers, not giving them credit for who they are. Now, I'm not saying Villa was elite. I'm just saying, he presented something that Jaron had never seen before. a very good pressure fighter with very good power. We have to see how he handles that. Just like we're talking about Terence Crawford, right?
Right.
Spencer's going to bring right now that pressure, educated jab. He's never seen a fighter. I've looked at so many fights with Crawford, and they say, yeah, he moves right. He does all these. That was back in the 135 days. Come on, guys. This guy doesn't move like that no more. He moves to the left, moves to the right, but he's not a mover no more. He's in that pocket. He kind of angle himself to different places. But that's because the other fighter's not really putting pressure on them. They're coming forward, but with no jab. They're jumping in. It's like serving pie to a fat person. It's going to be, it looks so easy for a person to eat it because you expect them to eat it. Let's see what happens when this guy's a skinny guy and we're serving him pie and he don't really want it. We're going to see how he reacts.
Gotcha.
So I think, you know, like I said, I give Jaron an A. You know, I don't care about the guy come forward. He's tailor-made, all that stuff. That stuff is a lie. Because if that were the case, Madonna was tailor-made for Floyd Mayweather, right? He was tailor-made for him. Mm-hmm. But he gave Mayweather fits. So tailor-made don't mean you ain't going to get fits. Tailor-made means that person is doing what you more than likely feel more comfortable at. But he looked very uncomfortable in that Madonna fight. I don't care what anybody say. Floyd looked uncomfortable. The second one, he did a little better, but the first one, he was uncomfortable.
I agree with that. The first one, definitely uncomfortable. Totally agree with that.
And I'm going to give you one more thing about Floyd in that fight before I let y'all go. It's funny because you know that's Floyd referee, right? Everybody knows that. Yeah. That is Floyd. That's Floyd referee. We got to give him some credit. That is Floyd referee who do not let anybody grab Floyd, touch Floyd. So somebody touch Floyd, he go, move back. Get out of here. Get off him. So that's why Floyd picked him as a referee, because he keeps Floyd, he keeps everybody else from Floyd. And Floyd's great, don't get it wrong, but come on, man, that's Floyd's referee right there. We got to admit that.
Yeah, Kenny Bayless.
Yeah, Kenny, that's his man. That's why he took him overseas. Kenny Bayless is on the payroll, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Kenny Bayless, but that man's on the payroll.
Oh, man.
That man is on the payroll. I think it's a Floyd Mayweather Promotions referee. Let's just keep it real, man. Love, man. But y'all fellas, man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. It's real. But that's some funny stuff right there, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your call.
Appreciate you.
I love y'all.
All right, later.
Later.
All right, Jay, I think that's going to be our last call for the day, man. We got 169 people in the building. If you get the opportunity, please smash that like button and help people find the content that we're always putting out, and particularly this particular show is going to help them find this show. I want to give some love to the people that support the channel, Rock Dog Interactive and Black Father Figures once again. And then also some of the content creators that we rock with. You guys heard Chicken on here earlier today, Lefty and Jake show every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go check it out. We're always on there, so I think you guys should be as well. Manager Marty, The Real Marlo TV, The Boxing Source, Showboating. We rock with all those folks, man. Go check out their content, great gentlemen. We're not like the new LDB. What's that thing that was called? What was it? LDBC or? I used to hear that all the time. I never knew what it was. Still don't know what it was. Yeah. But we're not that, man. We just some content creators, man, that rock with each other. So we appreciate that. Boxing community for sure. Easy Band, salute Greg Jason in the chat. I'm just getting here, but I know I missed some Bud hate. Nah, man, you ain't missed no Bud hate. We love Bud. There's a lot of support for Bud Crawford on this channel. I don't know what you guys
talking about Shakur today. That's different.
Huh?
Some people might say today was about Shakur hate, but
no, we didn't hate on Shakur either, man. I just feel like he needs to reposition himself in the way that he's approaching this, because I mean, being very public with it doesn't tell me that you actually want to fight. So it is what it is. I mean, I don't even know why you need to go public with if you did get offered 25%. What is the point of you going to social media and talking about it? What does that do? Yeah. So It is what it is. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, Jay. We're going to go ahead and wrap this show up. We appreciate everybody that joined us here today. Smash the like button on the way out, guys. There's still 169 people in the building. We only have 96 likes. Please hit that like button on the way out so that people can find this content, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, and we'll see you guys next week, and be on the lookout for more content this week. Peace.
Peace.